You're on camera. Say something.
Last night and night before, there was 3 women walking down the street that way. I saw them. I said, hey, you 3 women, why are y'all walking down the street that way? There's nothing down there. And they flew away. I said, oh, them was some birds.
No, I don't know what this is or where you can do it. I'm asking you.
Kneel and be amazed at the touch of the black man. Ooh. I bring life.
They're coming for the future, saying it's for the kids. But every word you whisper goes on a record list. Screens are watching faces, names behind the glass. They're saying it's protection, but freedom's fading fast. And I won't be the one to sit and lie while they barcode every blink of my eye. Call it safety, but it smells like control. You can't save a soul by killing the soul.
The title said Part 1, that means there's at least a Part 2.
We can't allow that to happen.
Call the accountant.
Helicopter, helicopter. Helicopter, helicopter.
16 hours earlier.
That's why I spent
$522 million.
on this burnt and twisted lump of
90s nostalgia.
because it reminds me of what really matters. This is the true heart of
Power Rangers.
boy. This is my religion. You don't know how many times I've seen that same cow-eyed, say-it-isn't-so look of disbelief. Every
SPD fan.
looks exactly as you do now. I won't bother proving it to you. Are you ready to make more money in 1 year than
Jason David Frank.
he made in his whole life? Are you ready to become a real
Power Ranger reviewer.
then sign that contract?
Dude, it was just a 10-minute video. Right now. Probably. Maybe. Damn. I didn't think they'd be able to find me all the way up here at the Arctic base. Now, gosh, I think this is the right ice cave. Oh, there's the vending machine. That's what I needed. Whoa. A copyright defensible Megazord. We are really underutilizing this. You're probably wondering how I got here. Well, it all started with me saying, I gotta know, is it real? Is Planet Gatorade really real? Is it really, really real? So I took a Gatorade rocket out into the... Yeah, no, there's no Gatorade pun there. I literally traveled through space inside of a Gatorade rocket, and it was going great until we started going way too fast, and, you know... With Gatorade, speed control is a little difficult, and so off we went, and I crash-landed. You know, I crash-landed. I mean, come on, like, look, I obviously, like, you know, it's in one piece, nobody died. Nobody died. And that's how I met Coolia Blue. So there I was on Earth, like, I gotta find Planet Gatorade, because I know there's a beautiful woman there that's waiting for me to steal her heart. And she was like, oh, Cider, you're so brave coming all the way across the galaxy to be my boyfriend. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly why I'm here. And it worked. Son of a bitch, it worked. I'm still in the copyright defensible Megazord. Man, that's the last time I marinate chicken in Gatorade. Have you or a loved one been injured in a Moon Witch-related monster battle? You may be entitled to compensation.
Ah! After 10,000 years, I'm free! Time to conquer Earth! Years I'm free!
Just in time for lunch.
I'm here and I got the Gatorade. I've also got the lovely Miss Nerdigans. Hello.
Hi. So these are the figures you were telling me about.
Some of them, yes. Yep. So if you don't know, you will know. So hang on, we're going to go for a ride because I'm about to get in trouble with Hasbro. So Before we get too deep, we do want to say hello to the people in the chat. Nice of you to be here. Appreciate it. We have Hibiki Gamer saying, Go Super Sentai. Well, you're crossing your streams now. Get your wires crossed. Somebody's going to be mad about that. Sakura Mita asked, Cider, are you okay? As far as I know, I am. I've just been busy because I fell down a rabbit hole of, should I or shouldn't I do this? And then I did a lot. And so Kenneth Renzomingo asked, hey, bounding into comics, have you heard about the news of Prime Minister Ishiba resigning? I have, and we will be talking about that today on this stream.
Yep, I've been looking at, while the opening was going on, I was looking at Reddit Japan to see what they were saying about the politics of what was happening. And I found, but yeah, our Japan. And I also have an NHK article that has some of what was being said too when the resignation happened, because I was extremely busy when the resignation even was announced. So
pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of infighting from what I'm seeing.
Of course, it's the biggest job in Japan. Who wouldn't want it? They're all, very geared toward excellence. That's great.
Well, that's what it is. It's a lot of political infighting, kind of like best way
what
to
happened
describe
last
it,
time.
Well, it's kind of like the best way to describe it in terms of American politics. It's kind of like the Freedom Party fighting against the Republican Party, or like the leftist, like borderline communist fighting the moderates in the Democratic Party. That's the best way to kind of compare like the infighting that's happening. It's like traditional versus like progressivism kind of situation.
Well, speaking of fighting, though, we do have what's going on right here on screen. I'm about to end up in a cease and desist legal battle with Hasbro. I found there's this new generative AI called Google Nano Banana, and it allows you to feed in references. And I am too clever for my own good. Okay, so I ended up creating lots of things. Okay, now. In the beginning, we talked about, the title is Who is this White Ranger? Okay. So I am in the middle of, I think, creating a professional proposal for Hasbro to like, hey, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just do this? Instead of whatever you're doing, let's do this. I've got all the stuff ready. Let's go. So as you can see here, here's the White Tiger Ranger action figure. This is to be 12 inches tall. This is a massive thing right here. And I figured that with all the lighty-uppy parts and being so large, it'd be easy for parents to find this thing when it was time for bedtime and Junior wanted it to go to bed. So there you go. And for kids, it's easier to beat brother and sister up when you've got this big, giant action figure to beat the hell out of them with.
God, it just reminds me of like the old school like Power Ranger figures, not the Morpher ones, but like the like the taller ones. Because growing up, I had God, it sounds so freaking old. I had all the Morpher Power Ranger figures. The bulky ones that you could like flip their heads, and it's like they're in their regular form and then their Ranger form. I had all of them. My mom got me all of them. Yeah, I was that spoiled. I never got the dolls that I wanted, but I did get the figures because my brother and I played with them.
Oh wow, there's always a way through, right? There's always a way through. So I did go and put together a now where did I put the clips of it? Golly gosh darn, where did it go? So I'm trying, I just, here it is. My bad. I was fishing around for the clip because I was silly. So I said, wouldn't it be nice if you had a motorcycle too? And so I created Tigeron. And there you go. There's Tigeron in action. But that wasn't enough. I had to also create one for the Red Ranger too. So I decided, you know what, screw it. I'll make them both into action figures as well. So you have the Tigeron battle cycle, the Tigeron battle cycle for the White Tiger Ranger. This is really eye-catching. I gotta tell you, if it was on the shelf, I'd stop it.
It makes me think of Beast Wars. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. It kind of looks like Cheetor. Yeah, kind of looks like Cheetor.
No, there was the Tiger Beast War. I can't remember his name, but yeah, that's what it's giving more than Cheetor.
I'm trying to think of his name too. Can't think of it.
But you
either.
know
If
who I'm
guys know in
talking
the chat.
about.
Yeah, he was like a crisscross character. He had like
Yeah.
Tiger and another one, flying one with him.
Yeah.
But then I decided to do Rexon. So you get it, Tigeron, Rexon, on, because they go on, they go forward. My favorite part of Rexon's design is it looks like he's puking up the front wheel.
That is kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I laughed. So when I did the turnarounds on them, they looked pretty badass. I couldn't help but like, yeah, this is what it should look like. Hands down. Especially the Red Ranger's one. Like, he just looks like he's ready. He's ready to go. You know?
But Hasbro isn't cool enough to do this kind of stuff. This is something that, like, this is like a Playmates kind of thing, I'm not going to lie.
Could be.
This really does. This does feel like something like Playmates or like, or Jada Toys would do, or what's the other one? Or maybe even Jazzware would do. Yeah, that feels right. It'd be like more of like either a Playmates, Jada Toys. Jada Toys is the company that does the Street Fighter figures that are coming out. And then Jazzware does a lot of the, I think they do a lot of the Mario figures. And I think they do some of the Pokemon figures now too. Because I know Tomy did it for a while. But I think Jazzware does it. I know Jazzware does the Sonic figures. But I don't remember if they do the Pokemon figures. Or no, is that Jack Specific? No, that's just Jack Specific on that one. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. But yeah,
okay. There's only a billion of them.
I know. Jack Specific would actually be a good one for this too, now that I think about it.
Well, and as you can see here, Rexon and Tigeron, they're special. They're not going to be like, there's not going to be other ones for the rest of the team. Because as usual, the 6th Ranger and the Red Ranger get all the neat stuff. So don't worry, I addressed that in a little while. We'll get there too. Because again, I prepared an entire brand package for this for some reason. My room was like, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? So
a lot of things could go wrong.
Yeah, a lot. Like a cease and desist order that I'm sure is on the way. Either that or an assassin group. So now a lot of people ask like, okay, so you got this neat White Ranger guy. Okay, that's cool and all. And he does neat stuff. Shoot, I lost the window. I was showing this stuff in. Hold on. I'm sorry. There's too many things open at once. Here we go. And, he does cool stuff. But he goes back. He doesn't go back in time. I just wanted to do this scene. So there it is. There's where Tommy arrives, and there's the new guy in the back. What's up? I'm the new guy. Sorry, I'm stalling while I try and find his designs because I have them spread all over the place. Unfortunately, it's been rapid generation here, and there we go. There he is. So, at last.
Dude, yeah, that is such a Playmates or like Jack Specific kind of toy line, or Hasbro even. It really is because it's so simple.
No, I'm not. I just have a lot going on, and I'm just really astonished that I was able to do all of this. I'm sorry if maybe I'm drunk on like, dopamine because I did all this.
Drunk on adrenaline.
Yeah, I guess. It's just really cool that I was able to accomplish all this. And this isn't like years and years of work. It's not even a week. Like, I think I've been at this maybe 7 days, maybe 6. I don't even think that long.
Call you, well, some people would say that you're an AI artist.
No. No. I'm just a doofus that's having fun with this stuff. That's all. Nothing special. So I'm going to try and propose Hasbro do this because I'm nobody. You don't need to pay me a bunch of money. But now you're wondering who's under the helmet. Well, I decided to update Tommy, okay? So he looks a little different, of course. It's not Jason David Frank because I don't believe in making dead men dance. And as you'll note from the opening I showed you guys, all the Rangers are different. They're not the same group of teenagers that they were. And let's see if I can find... Oh, there it is. There's the one of him in the suit with Saba. That's right. The new Saba. You want to...
I can't get over how it's just the blue. It just makes me think of Beast Wars. I just can't get over it.
Well, I got something that'll make you think of Beast Wars even more, okay? So, now what is a White Tiger Ranger, without the White Tiger Zord, okay? So I said, well, let's do that. Ta-da!
Nah, that doesn't give me Beast Wars. That does it.
No, that's Power Rangers for you.
I'm trying to. Part of me is like thinking that it's leaning, especially in the face, it's leaning more so towards like the Gundam side of the spectrum.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
But yeah, because with the Transformers and Beast Wars, I don't think they were. I think they maybe were a little bit slimmer, if I remember correctly, especially like in the torso.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, this is leaning more towards like the Gundam side of this of the mecha spectrum.
The mecha spectrum.
Yeah, the mecha spectrum of like Gundam and Transformers.
It's a spectrum now.
Dude, I make up the shit on the fly, man.
Yeah.
There's like an artistic spectrum for me and now a mecha spectrum. I mean, why not?
Sure, why not? So, decided to pose him out there. Now, for those of you who are fans of the Super Sentai franchise, you're going to notice that there's Gozu Polar influence on this. And I like the way that the cyan contrasts with the white. And so I decided, sure, why not? Let's make a whole White Tiger Ranger that has this motif now and add in some ice motif to it, because everybody likes tigers and ice. White tigers and ice, because the orange tigers are associated
I found the
with fire.
Transformer. I found the Transformer I was thinking of. It's Tigatron is the one we're thinking of. And I'm looking at it. It's like, yeah, this is a lot slimmer. And the head,
of course.
Like the head takes up like the entire torso.
The head?
So yeah, it does. Here, let me pull it up now that I know who I'm looking for.
Or at, right?
Yeah.
Here's so
I
showed you guys the one with the helmet, without the helmet, and then with it. And now without the helmet. And now with it.
Here it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it.
Honestly, I just gotta get
hair
this.
in my mouth. But yeah.
It's just being slow. Here it is. Here we go.
So there's a whole lore video for this too when we get around to it. Just it's not like hours long. It's like 3 minutes long, and it just kind of explains season 1, what goes on leading up to the events. So
yes.
Oh yeah.
So here's the. Yeah.
Oh,
see
yeah.
what I mean? Like the tiger
chest,
head takes up like the entire chest, and it's a lot slimmer, especially like in the arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I mean? Yeah. I knew it was a slimmer design, but yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you're not going to get like fully screwed over on the Hasbro front in terms of like copyright. And plus
this is absolutely the White Tiger Zord, and then it's
like a mixture of Tigatron
changed.
meets meets the White Tiger Zord. That's what it is.
Yep. I've made a lot of changes to the original White Tiger Zord, so.
But yeah, this is just, I just wanted to be clear that this, because it was driving me nuts. But yeah, it's a lot slimmer. And the blue, I think, is a different shade of blue. It's like more of a blue-green, like a teal.
Yeah, he's closer to teal, definitely.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a different color palette.
As you can see, I made some changes. This is the original.
I wish the red was in there.
It is down there at the bottom.
It's barely in there. Like if you would have replaced that like blue with the red, I think it would work better, in my opinion. Because the red, it's just there. It's not like part of the design like it is there. Like if you had it in like the shoulder pieces, it would look a little bit better. At least.
Yeah, girl opinions. Yeah. I don't know. I the red for me just kind of like really throws it, because the White Tiger Ranger doesn't have red on his costume. So it's very bizarre how it's
blue. Well, the original didn't have blue, but
see? But that's why I color matched everything, because I know what I'm doing. Okay, well, we could just shut the stream down, I guess. I mean, for God's sakes, guys, what'd you do with your weekend? That's what I thought. Nothing. I reinvented a franchise. So anyway, that's the White Ranger. And I made a whole theme song for him and everything, but we won't bother with that. You guys can, I did want to show you the Where did I put the animated version of his Zord? There's so many different images I've had to work with. So, oh, there it is. So there we go. There it is in action. That doesn't look too bad, though, does it? That's pretty cool, especially against the ice background.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's inspired by Good Burn. Again, like I said, I like the contrast of the gold and the black and the white and the cyan. I like it. I think it's very fun, very high-tech looking, very new world looking thing. So I figured, yeah, why don't we just bring that across? That's fun. That'd be a neat way to integrate this in.
Yeah, I still can't unsee like the Transformer meets like Gundam kind of thing that's happening here. That's what it just gives.
Is that bad though?
No, it's not a bad thing.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It's like it's just something I just can't unsee. And it's really driving me crazy. It's my ADHD running wild.
So we watched that intro in the beginning, and now for the lore video, it's over here. It's going to start the lore video. So we'll just go back through. If you want to comment or anything, I'm just going to turn the volume down on the beginning of the lore video here. But I just want to walk you guys through what went on with all this. And
After 10,000 years, I'm free.
Just in time for lunch.
that's the new villainess, Vexala. Look, there's a guy in there. You see, there's a guy in there, and he's mad.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to immediately notice that all the actors have AI as their initials. I was like, aha, that's the genius part. So they all have A names and I last names. So. For 10,000 years, Zordon has been trapped beyond reach, sealed away in a time barrier created during his final battle with Rita Repulsa. When Rita escapes her lunar prison, the universe expects her to return to dominance until a stranger descends like a spider. Vexala, a sorceress from the future, fuses with Rita in a storm. So I just told the AI, like, make this character do a Super Saiyan transformation but purple, and this is what it thinks a Super Saiyan transformation looks like, okay?
Dude, I'm just thinking, why not have Astronema fuse with Rita? That would actually be way sicker for a villain.
Because I have a bigger purpose for Astronema. See, I'm redoing the whole thing. I'm trying to bring it all home and melt it back into one thing. So this is just season 1. We haven't even got into season 2 yet. Of power. From that moment, the galaxy itself bends under a darker will, as Angel Grove becomes the front line in a war that began long before these Rangers were ever born. With Zordon lost, guidance falls to Dulcia. All right. So you remember Dulcia from the movie, the 1995 movie? Yeah, so I improved on that a lot. As you can see, she is dummy thick now. And I gave her the green Zeo crystal as her main weapon. It's mounted into her staff now. So when you get into a fight with her, she fucks you up with the green Zeo crystal. And what I interpreted originally off of Dulcia was that she was a Celtic jungle warrior. Because she wasn't Tarzan, she wasn't meant to be Jane, but she was meant to have that kind of wilderness, jungle, tropical warrior look, but she was also very British English, British Isles, and her hair was strawberry blonde. So it was like, this is the strangest jungle woman I've ever seen. So I was like, sure. So she's a Celtic jungle warrior, and that's how I styled her here, as the de facto mentor while Zordon is out of the picture. The last warrior of the Order of Meridian and Alpha 5, its surviving junior member. The viewing globe chooses 5 teenagers based on the capacity of their souls for good. Awkward, flawed, and untested, they are nevertheless bound by a desire for righteous justice. Teen genius Billy Cranston has upgraded the power coins, reforged to withstand the battles ahead. Yet one coin is beyond his reach, the green power coin, hidden centuries ago by Ninjor, who erased his own memory to keep Rita from finding the coin. The green coin lies guarded by the Dragon Zord and the mighty Titanus, a secret buried in the heart of Angel Grove. The Vexala's schemes outpace the Ranger. The AI fought me so hard because it thought this was something sexual. It was so hard to convince it that this was not like some dominatrix scene. He lost a fight. That's it. It's not, they're not going to fuck. He's just lost a fight. Calm down, ChatGPT.
You know, ChatGPT is kind of kinky.
Yeah, right. Well, it absorbed Grok. What do you expect? Ranger's growth. In a brutal clash, she captures the green coin and seizes control of the Dragon Zord, crippling Titanus in the process. To wield this power, she forges something monstrous, an entirely evil Green Ranger construct, born from the heart of Dark Spectre. How do you make Dark Spectre look more evil? You give him evil pants. Because I was like, now you are alarmingly aware that Dark Spectre has been bollocky bare-ass giving orders all throughout space. Like, he's just some giant naked-ass lava man screaming at people in space.
It's true.
But I gave it pants. And bound by her command. The result is not a corrupted hero, but a living weapon designed to shatter the Rangers' unity. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers' journey becomes more than weekly battles. It's a treasure hunt across the Order of Meridian's legacy. Every victory unearths pieces of Zordon's mysterious hidden past, and every mistake strengthens Vexala's grip on the future. With Zordon's return uncertain and Vexala's empire expanding, the fate of the galaxy hinges on 5 souls chosen by light in a war born of darkness. So you go. Now that brings us to Tommy. Okay? You like that? He's sitting on the fist.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was fun. Yeah. I thought that was fun. So, Tommy has never been the Green Ranger in my setting. The Green Ranger has always been an evil construct. He's never been a human.
Okay.
What I got out of the fans talking about the Mighty Morphin series is that they really liked it when Tommy was the bad guy, when the Green Ranger was beating everybody's ass all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he became a good guy, they got less interested. It became less exciting for them because he was on the team now and they were all just fighting every rubber monster of the week. So I said, let's just leave the Green Ranger as a bad guy forever. That's fine.
There's something called the Psycho Rangers that come into play later, but
sure.
this could be the prototype for the Psycho Rangers.
Sure. I mean, that's where I got the idea of the evil construct, was how Astronema created the Psycho Rangers. So, but Tommy's story is happens in season 2, because in my setting, Zordon went disappearing. And so what happened with that is that for 10,000 years, Zordon's been sealed in a time barrier because of the war with Rita. That was he struck her and got her sealed in that crystal. And then he, of course, was sucked into the time barrier. So when he arrives back, he chooses a new Ranger, and they create a new coin and a new Zord, the first new Power Ranger in 10,000 years. So you go. So his story, though, goes like this. It's Tommy Oliver is first introduced as an outsider to the Rangers' usual circle. A homeschooled graduate at 19, he is simultaneously more mature and more sheltered than his peers. His faith-driven upbringing and sheltered exposure to culture make him an odd fit in Angel Grove, though his kindness and loud car going by, and earnestness win over the Rangers in time. Tommy's early connection is with Kimberly, whom he casually meets at the Vitamin Vibes Cafe. You saw them all sitting there in the intro to discuss college paths. Their relationship blooms so slowly, framed as less instant romance and more as two people learning how to bridge their differences. Tommy's strangeness, such as quoting old movies, this is written for teenagers, so it'd be like 80s movies, the Ghostbusters, Top Gun, all those, right? Those are old movies now, okay? Those are old, okay? And avoiding smartphones, his family was one of the families that's like, you're not having a smartphone, it'll ruin you. So he doesn't have anything to do with them, and it makes it hard for him to be to battles on time because he can't be in the group chat. That's how they tell each other monsters are attacking. They take a picture and send it into the group chat. It's faster than the viewing globe. It's faster than the viewing globe, dude.
That is true.
So for Tommy, what he does is he practices the martial arts by himself, and he's managed to learn 3 styles on his own. He's not a master of any of them, but it makes him quite a threat in battle because he's not using any one martial arts style. And that was my way around like all the different styles that Jason David Frank was using in the show, because he was a mixed martial artist by the time he got to the show.
Yeah.
And so that explained why this new Tommy was like switching up different styles and could use a sword at 19. You don't know many teenagers that are master swordsmen, now do you? But what happens is when Zordon returns in season 2, he recognizes Tommy's potential, not for strength or intellect, but for his capacity to forgive. Chosen as the bearer of light, Tommy gains a new power coin, unlike the other Rangers who had theirs reforged. His power is born from the collapse of a supernova bound into a dino gem. That's what the gem in the middle of the coin is. Dino thunder connected through. Yeah. So, Dino Gem, blah, blah, blah. Where did that go? Dino Gem. Where did I put it? Supernova, Dino Gem, and the spirit of the White Tiger. His suit and abilities embody purity and ferocity. His light-based powers serve as a counterweight to the corrupted Green Ranger construct, making him Vexala's primary target. Tommy's capacity to wipe the slate clean in combat and spirit makes him a unique figure among the Rangers. Now, he's not leader. He's not the leader. Nope.
Yeah, anyway.
Jason. Not in this setting. He doesn't come in and replace Jason, because one of the lessons that Tommy has to learn is that forgiveness is a double-edged sword. Jason is hard enough to cut people off. You screw with him, he won't touch you again. He won't have anything to do with you ever again. Tommy will forgive you, and that's not a quality of a leader. You have to cut people off sometimes. Sometimes it's for their own good. Sometimes it's for yours. Tommy won't do that. The ship will go down because of it. So his rivalry with the Green Ranger is a little more complex, though. So the evil construct, of course, has never been Tommy, doesn't have any relationship to him whatsoever, but he's very jealous of Tommy's ability to exist outside of the battlefield, that he can grow and learn and have things to talk about beyond fighting and destruction. And this is something that grows as resentment inside of the Green Ranger over time. And so this is where Tommy spends his time, is making the case to the Green Ranger to exist beyond, combat. That the two of them could be friends, possibly. That's where that forgiveness thing comes in. And that's their relationship, is the two of them are constantly at each other's throats, because at the time Tommy arrives, they're equally matched. There's no longer the Green Ranger overpowering the other 5. And because Tommy is their 6th Ranger, he's freed up to fight the green one all the time, while the other ones are solving the current mission. So, I don't know. I had a lot of fun. Oh, I have a video for this, actually. I forgot.
Oh.
A video of this. So there you go. It gets a little rough toward the end, but, it's a turnaround of the two of them facing each other down. There you go. But I teased everybody with action figures, so it's time to do action figures, okay? I teased everybody with action figures, so let me find the tab where it all exists now. It's around here somewhere, I'm sure of it. Aha, okay, all right. So, here is the Cerberus. You like that? Like that? Cerberus Battleizer armor. right? So
Oh, that's sick.
T-Rex heads, Cerberus, T-Rex, Cerberus. Ah? This is one of those special armors like the Fire Knight armor that Time Force's Wes, the Red Ranger, Time Force Red had. His Battleizer was granted to him by a knight. In this case, while the Rangers were in the Hollow Earth, they encountered Cerberus, a forgotten Zord. And because Zordon's been gone for so long, and Cerberus chose Jason, who respected Jason's fiery spirit, and the two of them fought underground and granted itself as his Battleizer. So there you go. They have the Cerberus Battleizer armor. Now, people were asking me, like, what are you going to do about the Ninjetti? What are you going to do about the Ninjetti? And I said, well, the Ninjetti have always been kind of complicated because the Rangers' outward motif didn't change. Everybody's helmets didn't change to like wolf, ape, frog, falcon, crane, bear. Didn't do that. They stayed the dinos. So I was like, well, why don't we just turn it into a Battleizer then? So then I was like, well, how do I do this to get Hasbro's attention? This is all well and fun, but how do I actually turn this into something? So I said, okay, ta-da, let's keep doing the action figure thing. So here you go. Here's the Falcon Ninjetti Battleizer. As you can see, it draws inspiration from Overwatch's Mercy, but in this case, his gun doesn't heal people. It does the opposite. It creates big ouchies. And trying to remember where I put the promotional image I generated for that.
God, it looks familiar. Like the wingspan looks really familiar. It kind of gives Gundam in a way.
Sure. I'm a Gundam fan, so why wouldn't that come through? There it is in action.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it gives what's his name? Angel in X-Men. That's what the wings are kind of giving.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. I see it.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a metallic version of it.
Yeah.
Like a robotic version, excuse me. But yeah, you see
when he was the Archangel.
Yes, Archangel. Thank you. Archangel. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's totally giving.
Yeah. As you can see, the little action figures down in the corner. He's got his little gun. Little box. And so I was like, okay, so I got that one down. Now, who's next? I said, okay, so what do we do with Billy? Now, Billy's the wolf. What do I know about wolves? Well, they're often characterized as swordsmen. So, ta-da! So you go from the staff with the stabby things on it to having twin swords and chest armor. And I thought this turned out above awesome. This turned out crazy good. I don't know. I really like the flaming swordy pieces down at the bottom there. I like that. Of course, the wolves are in the background.
Yeah, the wolves in the background look sick, but I'm trying to think. That wolf... God, this is what happens when you cover as much manga as I do. You get really spoiled and become peculiar about little artistic things. And same with anime. The wolf on the chest looks a little flat. Maybe
That's the point.
Because of the AI. That's all right. That is the point for it to be flat.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like a swordsman in the forest. So if he has big, clunky, sticky outy, the fronty armor, that's gonna be hard to swing a sword.
That is very true.
See, you see how the Cyber-X Battleizer armor is just kind of like, it's meant to swing the sword. Swing the sword, the giant sword, swing it, you know?
Yeah.
And the Falcon Ninjetti Battleizer is meant to be like, shoot the gun. So in both cases, this is not meant for like high agility situations, you know, for jumping around anyway. And ta-da, minimalist. You can see how it looks without the background there. And I couldn't resist. I had to do like a werewolf version of it. So it's like, oh, werewolf version. So yeah, it was spooky. And then finally, I decided, well, we should probably do the frog one too. So I was like,
oh god, the frog one.
A frog and a hammer. That'll redeem it. So we gave the frog a giant ass hammer.
Dude, you made the torso look really long with this one and thin.
Oh, it's because he's not wearing any regular armor through there. That's just the suit, the normal suit. There's no added armor.
I think it's because the silver parts of the suit aren't lit up. That's why it looks really thin. That's probably why.
Well, here's what it looks like. I got it right here, front and back.
Yeah, that's why, because the silver on the sides of the suit, you can't see it in that lighting. So what it does is it's making the torso like really, really thin.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. I do. But now you see it. So with that one.
Yeah.
And there it is with the hammer.
The hammer is cool though.
Yeah. Right. All right. It's cool. But I also did some
Did
promotional.
you do one for the bear?
No, to be honest with you, the girl Battleizer stuff doesn't usually sell. It's mostly they just want the girls to complete like a team lineup. The extra stuff usually doesn't sell for them. So
You'd be surprised now because you got the gays up and really into Power Rangers now, and they're not ashamed to be gay and into Power Rangers. So,
well, that's just it. Is I'm trying to impress little kids, and so little girls tend not to be gravitating toward Power Rangers. But on the off chance they are, we do have like the base stuff.
But I'm weird, and I was into Power Rangers. A lot of my friends were into Power Rangers too, and they were girls.
So I did front and back on the Cyber-Rex armor. As you can see, it's as Battleizer as it can get, through and through. But I'm also trying to figure out what to do with this one. I'm not sure what to do with this one. I want to call it the Heavy Metal Battleizer, but I'm just not sure. That name's not quite catching me. This is another one of those like one-off special armors, episodic.
Yeah. It looks very bulky.
Yep.
But like the other thing is though, again, this is because of all the character designs and stuff I see. I think the proportions are kind of weird. Because it's mainly because of the proportions to the shoulder to the rest of the body. It just looks a little funky. Because the head looks a lot bigger than like the shoulder pieces, for example. Like if the shoulder pieces were bigger, or if you made the head a little bit smaller, it would work a little bit better.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it looks like it's too. It looks like the armor is too small for him. Like just look at like football pads or something like that, and you see how much bigger the shoulders are, compared to like the rest of the body. That's why I'm saying like maybe make the helmet just a little bit smaller, or the head smaller, or make the shoulders bigger. It's got to be one of the two.
I have no control over that.
Well, then that's all your fault, ChatGPT or whatever AI program you are. You do not know about proportions.
I really don't see it. That's the problem. I just don't. I guess I watch a lot of this stuff, so the helmet size doesn't affect me. I don't know. It just doesn't look off at all, but I don't know. But I also made it do t-shirt designs.
That is cool.
And then I made it do a t-shirt design that was on a dude.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, right? So you could do all that now. You just do all that. That's a thing. Oh, I should show you the full turnaround of the Jedi Falcon armor so you can see better. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, I can't unsee Archangel.
Right?
Can't. It's Archangel, but like Sentai, but make it Sentai.
And then, like I said, you can make action figures now, so I had to turn design into an action figure. And then there's Red.
Yeah, that looks a lot better. It looks like the armor fits him. It doesn't look like it's like too small for his body like the other one was.
I think it might just be the Battleizer. It's the Battleizer armor is meant to be big and chunky, so I think that's what it's doing, is it's making it big and chunky, oversized. So it
Yeah.
looks like he's just not proportioned for it right, but it's supposed to look like big chunky armor.
Yeah.
So it's probably what it is. So yeah, and then you could just make these intensely professionally looking promotional images that really threw me when they first started working. It's pretty crazy. But yeah.
It's pretty
Did
cool.
we no, I didn't see Kamen Rider Z.
I haven't
No.
seen it yet.
It's not that I hate it or anything, I just didn't find the time to get around to it.
I have been so swamped with everything that's been happening between like the Jujutsu Kaisen stuff, and I finally finished that freaking article, and like I was swamped in manga content and anime content yesterday, and then there's also football that started this week, so it's been one thing after another.
Well, we'll get around to Zets, when it's time. And there's a few more episodes to talk about, and we have a clearer idea of what they're on about and whatnot. Oh, yeah, the forced perspective fists. This made me laugh. There's an even crazier one. This one's like straight out of Ultraman. Look at our giant fists. Yeah, straight out of Ultraman. But, and then I got bored and I decided to make a commercial. Have you or a loved one been injured in a Moon Witch-related monster battle? You may be entitled to compensation. You may be.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I sat down and I was like, what can I do to get big trouble with Hasbro really fast?
There are plenty of things you can do to get in trouble with Hasbro and with Disney pretty fast.
Yeah, right? This might be among them. I'm sorry. I just frankly enjoyed the entire process of doing this, and I thought that it would be fun to share. And
I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with like in space. And I can't wait to see you like get rid of Justin, because Justin is a horrible character, and he should have not been on Power Rangers Turbo.
We talked about that in one of the Power Ranger videos.
Yeah.
So that we did here on the channel. What happened with Justin. It was really funny because Justin was an adult when he had the helmet on. And I was like, do you think he tried to buy beer? Like there had to be at least one time that he did the Shazam thing and he tried to buy beer, and they tried to card him and he was like, I can't take the helmet off. And they're like, well, you can't buy the beer then, Blue Ranger, But it was back in the 90s, so who knows? They were like, sure, have an extra beer on the house, Mr. Blue Ranger. Will you be drinking and driving car-themed Blue Ranger? And he drives the redneck monster truck, by the way.
Oh, that's
his.
right.
So he's got all the beer and stuff. I gotta make that image now.
Oh God.
The Blue Ranger sacked out in the front seat of the Mountain Blaster. God, I know that from memory. Oh, what have I done with my life? But yeah, this is how you make Dark Spectre more evil, is you give him evil pants.
Pants make the man.
And that's what I said. I said evil. I said leather pants and spiked belt. And I was like, wow, that looks decidedly more evil than naked lava man. So I don't know. I was having a lot of fun with how to build the lore on things like that. So
that should be fun.
Yeah.
I can't. Like I said, I can't wait to see you like punt Justin out of this universe, because he's enjoying.
Well, again, I mean, like I probably, I might not even make use of that character whatsoever. Not even like he's like angry or something like that. Just just gone out of the picture. Because what I'm trying to do is so what Power Rangers tried to do with all of this is they tried to set out to create a cohesive universe where everybody was connected. So if you weren't part of like a team that kept getting new powers, like what happened with Mighty Morphin, then, you knew them. You had some interaction with the Mighty Morphins. You were related in some way to the Mighty Morphin situation. And So that made it like kind of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe before the Marvel Cinematic Universe was doing its cinematic universe thing, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Now, in space, in my setting, already exists. If you remember, Andros and Zane had their powers during the fall of KO-35 that happened long before Zordon was taken away by Divatox.
Yep.
So they're going to be showing up. Andros and Zane will be showing up in my season 2. So, as the Space Rangers, they're the only ones, though. They're not Cassie and Carlos and Katie.
Yeah.
No, that can't be right. Anyway, the other Space Rangers aren't part of it yet because they're not part of it.
And neither are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who showed up in space for that crossover.
I don't know if Hasbro still has control of that brand, so we'll find out. But for the time being, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to collide all this stuff together, the unique parts of it together. So that way everybody kind of gets pieces of what they want, pieces of what they are interested in, stuff like that. And so the way I explain these other teams is that kind of like Dr. Fairweather with Lightspeed Rescue created the Ranger powers that the Lightspeed Rescue team was using. They weren't mystical and they weren't like Zordon's magic. Hold on. Excuse me. Sorry, someone's cursing my name apparently. But I lost my train of thought. Zordon, right?
It's not like the Mystic Rangers either,
right? And so what I figured is that the Turbo Rangers would be created by another entity. And so the Turbo Rangers would be in competition to Mighty Morphin for a time because they have a much more American ground earth kind of approach. They're vehicles, whereas the dinosaurs and, ninja stuff belonged to Mighty Morphin. So these were decidedly more American, looking things. So, I figured some other entity, some other group puts together the Turbo Rangers. Naseda puts together the Space Rangers. However, they get the technology from Zane and Andros.
Okay.
That's how I'm weaving it all together of how we get everybody into this because I'm trying to make sense of everything so it feels like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but everybody's a Power Ranger. So everybody has their own separate team and story sort of going on, but it's all happening simultaneously. Because there's a lot of dumb shit happening in the world and the universe, and sometimes it's not always just a floating head in the tube guy and his space witch ex-girlfriend. Sometimes it's some other bad juju going. Somebody else's ex-girlfriend causing problems. So but that's how Astronema fits into all this, is what gets Andros into being a Power Ranger, because she gets kidnapped by Dark Spectre. But he's dead now. So what happened to her? Wow.
You have to wait and see, huh?
Yep, it is. It is AI. So, and the point of it is not to bamboozle you. I'm just trying to demonstrate that this is what Hasbro could be doing with its time, and it's just not doing that. It's instead sending all this over to Playmates and just saying, do Mighty Morphin on repeat.
Because they don't care.
I get the wild feeling that they don't, I get the wild feeling that they don't care. Why should
Disney
they?
cared a lot. Disney cared more about Power Rangers than Hasbro did. Or Hasbro
Oh, absolutely. And they weren't even making the toys. That was still Bandai.
Yeah.
So I think that's all of them. Oh, I should just show you guys I already showed you the isolation if they'll see it. I just like this picture of Exolic. She looks like an anime character laughing. Yeah, I don't know. But speaking of anime characters, we do have news on the anime front of what's going on. Apparently, what has happened, excuse me, I sneeze, I burp. It's a horrible time on this live stream if you're into ASMR. But anyway, we have good news for everybody out there that likes Demon Slayer, because it just blew past Japanese cinema records, setting yet another one itself, collecting 30 billion yen in less than a few days.
Yep, it's breaking records, and it's I even got the pre-sale numbers for the US. So including pre-sales for the US, it's a total for day one, mind you. It's $15,419,133, and this is to what is it? 21,777 shows and 894,551 tickets. And this is with like almost no marketing. Demon Slayer is getting in the US, it's getting a 40X and IMAX releases as well. So they're at least the theaters are doing something, I guess. But I have not seen that much marketing out of Crunchyroll, because I think they're the ones. Yeah, Crunchyroll's the one that's doing it. So it's very, very outside of the freaking crap popcorn. Well, people aren't saying it's crap. Some people are going to get it, obviously. Outside of like the popcorn tin and cup, and maybe like a couple of other cups that another theater is releasing, I haven't seen that much marketing, which is really wild.
I don't know. I haven't truthfully been following a lot of it, to be honest with you. Demon Slayer is a bit just kind of, like I said, I like Zenitsu and whatnot. It's just kind of out of my depth on a lot of it. So,
well, for me with Demon Slayer, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I stopped with Demon Slayer the moment the manga ended. I was really over it, but I tried to watch the anime, the first few episodes. I'm like, yeah, and it was around this time, like 6 years ago, because when my significant other 12 years passed, and I couldn't handle anime at the time. Yeah. I couldn't handle anything more depressing, aka bad manga to anime adaptation. So I just like stopped watching anime altogether for a while. So yeah, but with the Demon Slayer manga, I've said it before, I covered it from like this is while it was being serialized, from like chapter 50 to the end. This was like in 2018 when I went to an Aniplex industry panel, and they first showed Demon Slayer, like the trailer that was released, I want to say like within a couple of weeks of them showing it at Crunchyroll Expo. I was the only person in the room that even knew what Demon Slayer was. And not even the Aniplex rep was up to date with Demon Slayer. I was the only one there. And I just think I just look back on it, and even around the time, I remember manga tubers were saying that Demon Slayer was going to get the axe too. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to get axed or not. And yeah, it obviously did not get axed. But I'm still
surprised.
I'm surprised that it's this big in all reality. I really am. I wish the Elusive Samurai was getting this kind of art animation, though. I really do not like what Cloverworks did with it. It just sucks. Serves better. But yeah, I'm really happy to see it doing well. I'm just very frustrated that it's not getting the 1,000-year Blood War treatment that it deserves, because the final portion of the Infinity Castle arc got extremely rushed. We still don't know like the full story of why it got rushed. There's rumors of Katoge having like a family emergency and whatnot, but we don't know. We never got confirmation on why.
It's all right.
Well, yeah, this was like years ago though. But I just like I don't think we'll ever know. But I was hoping that when we got to this part of the manga, that it was going to be a 1,000-year Blood War situation where Katoge was going to come back and supervise the anime, and we were going to finally get some answers in regards to Nezuko, like what happened, because 1 minute Nezuko is still a demon, the next second she's not, and it's like, dude, we like to see the process of how this happened, of how she reverted back into her, her humanity, which is very frustrating that we didn't get. There's a lot of stuff that was unanswered that we didn't get, and it really still annoys me to this day. But yeah, I guess I don't know we don't know. I don't think anybody knows what's going on with Katoge right now. So it's a damn shame that we're not going to get the 1,000-year Blood War treatment that it deserves. But at least people are happy. People are enjoying it. Hopefully this is I really was hoping it'd be a different movie, mind you, but hopefully this is like a gateway to get more anime movies in the theaters. Hopefully it's successful enough for that in the American theaters. because I really
Well.
I'd like to see this for Chainsaw Man Rize. I'd love it to see it for that.
Assassination Classroom is getting a movie.
Yes, this is the third and final project for Assassination Classroom's 10-year anniversary, and it's featuring it's basically episodes that never made it to air, from what I understand, and I guess it was like due to time constraints at the time, and like if this can happen for Assassination Classroom, I'm just thinking, and I think a lot of people are thinking it too. It's like, dude, why not Soul Eater? Why not Tokyo Ghoul? Well, Assassination Classroom people wanted a remake for it too, but like, why not Tokyo Ghoul? Why not Twin Star? Well, Twin Star Exorcist, the mangaka even wants a freaking remake of the anime because it barely adapted any of the content. It's just so bizarre. A lot of things are happening in the anime industry. So really questionable choices, but
they spend billions of dollars studying the market on how to understand this stuff. Well, hundreds of millions anyway, studying the market on how to like reach audiences on this. And so I think honestly, it's the shifting demographics in Japan that has caused so much what you and I would expect to happen to not happen. Because it's like again, like their demographic shift is not as harsh as Korea's is.
Yeah.
But Japan is much more, the anime industry is much more pronounced. So when things shift, they shift noticeably. And I think this is probably what it is that the nostalgia-based stuff is starting to fade more rapidly than what we expected because that generation's just already gone. They've already moved on. They've moved out of the market that would appreciate anything like this. And so now they're appealing to kids like, this would be the Zoomers kids that grew up with this. This is Zoomer teenagers that had, this is like my first anime was Assassination Classroom.
This is our generation. This is millennials and Zoomers.
Not in 2015. That would not be their first anime in 2015. Something's desperately wrong in their lives if they've made it to 25 before having an anime, before seeing an anime. Yes, desperately wrong in your life.
Well,
but
Japan,
again, right. And so this is what I'm talking about is that like that generation's already like moved on. It was so quick because it's so short. This population crisis isn't because a bomb went off. Every year, the generations have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And you're finally at the point now where like every 2 years, a new generation is now the central marketing hub because the one before it has quite literally all at once aged up into the demographic where it's no longer part of that market anymore. Like a bunch of Super Sentai suffered from this just because it was just the kids are just boom, 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 aging right out of it. It was not like, the boomers are spread out across like 15 years. The generation spread out.
I thought it was 10 years.
Well, yeah, around that. They're spread out. They're spread out quite a ways. So in Japan, these are so like hyper condensed because people aren't having as many kids. So like in the same time period, like a quarter of the amount of kids born in America are born in Japan. So once that goes, there isn't that long line anymore. Everybody moved on to Dragon Ball Z at once. Everybody moved on to Demon Slayer at once. It is really hard right now to be a media company in Japan trying to get a hold of anything as this keeps melting around them. That's why they're going out to the global market. But yeah, this one's got a chance to come across because you said the millennials really like this one. I remember a lot of the people in our group talking about it. Yeah. Yep.
Well, it was recently banned in schools, but thanks to the I think it was the federal court in Florida, it was reversed. It's still banned, I think, in a couple of states, schools. I think it's like New York or New Jersey, something like that. But
I don't know why you go after Assassination Classroom.
Because there's guns and it's in a classroom. That's why. Like Karens are really dumb.
Yeah. What do you know? But
Karen's parenting.
Speaking of nostalgia properties, we do have some Zets, some Zests, if you will. Sounds like Zest when I hear it. It's Zests. Yeah. So it sounds like Zests when I hear it. So let's get zesty. So here we go.
Oh,
this is Tamashii Nation's action. Yeah, it's action figures. Mm-hmm. And
it's H Figure Arts that's doing this one.
They're very proud of their metallic finish on this guy. So as you know, this is probably the most textured Kamen Rider ever. He should be a Kamen Rider tire tread, I guess. He's got a lot of rubber texture to him. Again, this was meant to appeal to the American audiences who apparently really like textured superhero suits that look like they're made out of tire rubber or, whatever. But I don't hate this design at all. I don't have a problem with it. I'm only making fun of it because it's very, I don't know. I've just never seen such a textured Kamen Rider. I feel like there's Braille written all over him. It's such a bizarre, like, look at all that. Look at all that. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. And it's to capture the light the way that the American suits do. And it makes it look all high-techy and like, ooh, future armor. Whereas in Japan, if you just slap some colored spandex on, people are like, yeah, no, you could stop a bullet with that. I believe it. Here in America, we're like, fuck no, you're stopping a bullet with spandex. However, if you put some texture on that spandex, it will 100% stop a bullet every time. That's the rule over here. Superman's suit it sucks. Okay, put some texture on it. All right, it sucks less now. And that was the whole thing with the Snyderverse. Is people were like, oh, I don't like it without the trunks, and they saw the texture and like, okay, it's believable that it's an alien suit now because there's teeny tiny little Superman diamonds all over it. And I was like, of all the neurotic things to do to a suit, of all the neurotic things, the Koreans are dumb. The Karens are dumb. Okay, I was going to say, a very Japanese statement to make. Sagittarius Sayas says Nickelodeon still has the TMNT franchise. Yep. Kamen Rider Zez is already watched. He already watched episode 1. Yes. Yep. It's already out. It's available. The weekend was a little more tumultuous than Spencer and I were expecting, and so we were not able to do the watch along in there. Like I said, we have a couple more episodes under our belt. We can do a watch night and get like 3 of them nailed, then get like the full like pilot episode experience. You know how the first 3 episodes of Kamen Rider are usually a movie. Yeah. So that's the kind of the aim. I'm not one of those guys that has to be the first to report on it. I like to think about it and be like, this is a good idea or this is not a good idea. I happen to like that the motorcycle runs the organization that the main character works for. Takes you back to that conversation that Ichigo was making to his hollow on the inside when the hollow was who's going to be the horse and who's going to be the rider. Yep, that was a good one. That was funny. Right, and episode 2, right, it's right around the corner, only a week away. Of course, it's being live streamed in multiple different platforms. All you got to do is search it. Believe me, I'd point you to any one of them, but you'll find it by searching it faster. So we do have some other news, though. Speaking of things going on in Japan, we have One Punch Man Season 3 preview 2. This is anime versus the manga.
Yeah, like people have been pissed. Like I've seen mainstream accounts like Daniel Rickman comment on One Punch Man Season 3's trailer. And they said, and they've been saying like free One Punch Man from JC staff. Like, where was this earlier? Like I said from the jump, it was going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad because it was the moment I think the majority of One Punch Man fans knew this was going to be bad the moment that JC staff was announced to that they were going to be working on season 3. It just you could see the difference. The scar's not going all the way to the hairline like it should. It doesn't have as much texture. You see, it's right here on the forehead. It's wrong. The hair is wrong. I think a lot of the facial features would be, in terms of like proportions and stuff like that, it'd be fixed if the hair was actually correct. The arm isn't correct. Sorry, the arm is incorrect. It looks like a cheap ass plastic dollar store arm or something you get like maybe a cheap Spirit dollar store. That's mean. Spirit. I'll be nice and even say Spirit Halloween.
No, it looks like a Cyberman arm from Doctor Who.
It looks like a cheap Cyberman arm from Doctor Who.
They are cheap.
No, cheaper than that.
Either way, as you could tell, they made some incredible liberties with
Genos.
With Genos, who's continually getting his ass kicked.
Poor Genos.
So, Now, Beast apparently got his shit fucked too.
Oh yeah, that's King.
Sorry, King. Sorry, my
King.
bad.
The main problem with King that I noticed is the scar lengths are wrong. That the scar, like on the far right, it's too short. Because they're all the same length on the above the eyebrow. One of them is supposed to be short. One of them is supposed to be. The other two are about the same length, but they're more jagged and they're not straight. And also, it's the same. I think the ones on the bottom are, for the most part, okay. But yeah, the ones on the bottom part of the eye are okay, but it's just that one on the top that's really frustrating. And also, like, if you notice the sidebird, it's like going all the way down, like to the ear on the anime. Yeah, it's not supposed to do that.
It's like they did more work for themselves on that one. They didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why this keeps happening. I see it a lot in anime. It's like they're making more work for themselves, like by not doing like a really cool like color background. Instead, they're just like reanimating like the scene that they're in, background that they're in. I'm like, why are you doing that? That's dumb. Save less work for yourselves. But yeah, Garo, oh my god, Garo looks so freaking flat in the face. Ugh, it just is so bad. It looks so flat. You see what I mean? The hair looks really bad. Ugh.
It kind of feels like they were trying and then stopped. Like, that's enough.
But I know what the director said that they are definitely doing like a 2D CGI hybrid with this one. And it's like, yeah, it just doesn't look blended very well.
Yeah, they're trying too hard, I think, with the CGI.
Yeah, you could definitely tell they're trying way too hard. Like, unless you're Studio Orange, or I will even give UFO Table credit where credit is due, because they will do some really nice work with CGI blends, 2D CGI blends. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing it. Oh, Zombie Man got it the worst. You'll see it, like the face is like sunken in. The forehead is incorrect. It's supposed to be more like a 5 head. The neck is way too long. It just is, the face is just so bad. Oh my god, that face is so bad. And the sunken in look is something that we've seen a lot in anime, where like characters that are supposed to have like a fuller cheek are like sunken in for some reason. It's so weird. I don't know why this keeps happening, but like Zombie Man's got it like the worst. You'll see it when you go over to the manga panel comparison. It's just like, what the hell did they do to this man?
Yeah,
this
right.
man's face. See what I mean? That's jaw sunken in. The jawline is wrong.
He does look more dead. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he does look more dead, but like that's still not Zombie Man. He's supposed to have like a flat forehead, and like it looks more round on in the anime. It looks so bad. His neck, you see what I mean by his neck being longer, and it just looks so off. Oh my god, it drives me nuts. It looks so bad. This one, like, there's a lot of crackage missing. Let's go with that. There's cracks there in the face, but man, there's so many cracks missing where like you see the face coming off. It looks like the face is like gonna like come off of the rest of the head. Yeah, those cracks are missing. Like that's like the main problem with this one is like the lack of cracking and there are some cracks there, but you know what I mean. There's not enough there.
It doesn't look as haunting.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't look as haunting. It looks very empty.
Yeah, like, oh, this would be spooky if I was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that looks.
But that actually looks scary.
Yeah, something's wrong. Yeah.
And then there's wait till you see what they did to Pig God and Darkshine. Pig God, he's on Ozempic. Let's be freaking real. He's on Ozempic. He lost a lot of weight. And Darkshine, I guess he's off the roids or something, because he lost a lot of that bulk.
Such weird.
He lost like
choices.
These 2 layers of bulk, at least, maybe 3. The pecs look terrible.
At least they remembered he was black. Gotta give him that.
Yeah.
That was kind of them.
At least, well, You'll see. He's technically tan. He was white for a minute before he became dark shine.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna go well with a lot.
What happened? Did he do a lot of sit-ups and become a black guy instead of what happened to One Punch Man, or did a lot of push-ups?
We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, like as I said, like he's on a fucking diet. He is on Ozempic. Tatsumaki is kind of hard to tell because of where the angle or where the frame cuts off. But if we saw a little bit more, I'd be like, I could tell you if like the figure is correct. But Shadow Emperor, for the most part, looks okay. Obviously, you got the hair helmet realness happening there. Yeah, there's quite a bit of that hair helmet realness. If like the hair was like flipped up just a little bit more and fluffed up, then it wouldn't have that hair helmety effect. But it looks for the most part okay. And then yeah, this one is okay, but like they could get away with a little bit more because they're using the shading, they're using the lighting to kind of mask it, you know?
I guess. But
we're getting away with it because of that. It looks awful though. It doesn't look as menacing.
No. It kind of looks like you remember the star guy, the space god from the first season?
Yes.
Kind of looks like his dad. Like if King Cold was an ugly, you know.
Oh my god, he totally does. Like a less
menacing
version. Yeah.
Right, and that's the problem with not like clarifying what that is in the dark, because my little kid brain would be like, oh, it's the space emperor pirate man's dad from season 1, and he's come to clap cheeks. All right. Finally. Nope. No, it's this guy. It's this guy.
Oh, by the way, remember we talked about JC staff's working conditions? They changed their website, so those statements are gone.
Oh.
I wonder why they changed the website. Was it because people were starting to catch on?
So I was trying to find that other one there about Grok being in.
Oh, yeah. So Grok was in Rent a Girlfriend this past week. That was freaking hilarious. So poor Kazuya. So Kazuya is dealing with the situation of like how he's going to respond to Chizuru. So he turns to the manga's version of Grok. And one of the questions he asked it was so funny. And like and you could tell who actually read the chapter because they only posted the first picture. They didn't show the rest of it, which is him asking or adding that that Chizuru was originally his rental girlfriend. That was so stupid. Oh my god, I couldn't believe like they had Grok say.
Looks like a screenshot.
Yeah, it is the screenshot of that.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they did a screenshot of Grok. They called it Kanak, probably for kind of because some it's called Kanokuri. So that's probably why they did that.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah, Kanokari.
That's funny as fuck that there's legit screenshots of Grok in the middle of a manga. That's legit funny as fuck, dude. That's hilarious.
Like the responses for like, what should my first line message be after a surprise mysterious kiss is just like, when I covered this, I was like, what the hell? This is not what you should be saying to a girl. Like after this, no.
So where is it? What should my first line? So he asks, this character asks, what should my first line message be after a surprise mysterious kiss? The answer is, the post-mysterious kiss text is all about balance. How to respond depends on the situation and your relationship with the other person. Keep it natural, a little surprised, and give the other person room to explain. For example, so that kiss caught me off guard. What was that about, huh? Lol. Key points. You show your surprise while casually asking their intent. A light emoji softens the tone. You leave space to see their reaction.
You don't do that.
If it's someone you're close with, you can afford to be a bit more casual. Send them a dick pic. You can be a bit more casual. Send them a dick pic. I would I would laugh if that was like Grok's response. It was like, oh, you got a surprise kiss? Send him a dick pic. That's a Mecha Hitler response right there.
The responses are great. It says, if you're close, wait, that kiss just out. Like, what? Emoji, spill it. What's going on? No, do not send that. Don't send that to a girl. No. If you're not very close, that kiss was a little unexpected. Did it mean something? That is something you should probably say in person. Not on a line message or a text message. And the key is to match your message to the relationship and your own feelings. If you can give me more details about this particular situation, I can offer more helpful suggestions. The response to the rental girlfriend portion is so fucking funny.
It blows my mind that Grok went through this. This is now it's in Grok's record forever. By the way, you can't separate it.
Okay.
That's in there forever.
You got to go to the third one to see the full answer. It says a mysterious kiss. Okay, a mysterious kiss from a rental girlfriend. Well, that escalated quickly. Since this is technically a professional relationship, there should normally be some boundaries. No shit. For your first line, the best move is to show lighthearted surprise while casually trying to figure out her intentions. Here's one suggestion. Whoa, that kiss really caught me off guard. Is that part of the rental girlfriend service or something else? Don't do that. Tell me what you were feeling. The key points is to keep the tone upbeat and show surprise in a fun way. Throw in a playful service. Joke. So it doesn't get too heavy. And keep the door open for her to clarify whether it was business or personal. And emojis help keep things casual and avoid awkwardness. And if you actually want to dig deeper into her feelings, honestly, that kiss really made my heart race. It felt like more than just rental girlfriend territory. What do you think it meant? Oh my god, that's
well. In all fairness, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Do you just assume that? Well, how do you derive the answer out of them? Because this is, again, someone who has been paid to be in your company, and they were unexpected. You didn't ask to be kissed, and thus there was no professional direction for that to happen. And so if you have caught feelings for your rental girlfriend, how would you find out? And so Grok just went with this simple answer, like, just fucking ask him. Don't be an idiot. Just ask him. Don't run him around. Just ask him. And while it seems pretty blunt, I mean, honestly, if what is meant to be gained here is the goal to go out and create like a catch me if you can situation, cat and mouse with this. Like, you surprise kiss a guy, and then what? He's not supposed to ask you what it meant?
There's a way to go about it. You don't just say it like that, especially the rental, unless you're extremely close with this person. Then I'd be like, okay, maybe you could get away with a joke like that. But like, I wouldn't.
What if she is your rental girlfriend? I mean, that's the premise here, right?
No, I'm saying that if you're like already like, if you've known her for a long time and you were using her as your rental girlfriend, or hell, even if you knew her for a long time and knew she was a rental girlfriend and didn't use her as a rental girlfriend, then you can kind of get away with like kind of cracking a joke, but she wouldn't take you seriously. She's not going to take you seriously. Like that part of the rental girlfriend service? Like, no, it's not. They can't kiss you. That's part of the thing is with the rental girlfriend services is you cannot kiss the girlfriend. It's not allowed.
Yeah, so she did the kissing. It's not his fault.
Yeah, she did. She was the one that did the kissing. It was part of her. It was part of her experiment Chizuru's experiment to kind of see if, she was testing him. So like what was happening prior to all of this is Chizuru was doing what most girls did. Most girls do is test Kazuya to see if her feelings for him.
You're getting
real.
Some inside pool, fellas. Take notes.
and if she wanted to be with Kazuya, and like. There was a lot of liquid courage involved because a lot of people were taking the chapter out of context when she initially rejected him. But what she was saying was that she cares about him, but she wants to focus on her career. as an actress. And again, they were both drunk on liquid courage when this happened. And no one paid attention to that. But I'm glad Kazuya acknowledged it at some point. I think it was this chapter he acknowledged it. They were like, they were pretty drunk on some liquid courage. When Kazuya was moving out, he said to Chizuru that it doesn't matter, that he's going to love her forever, and that he was going to wait for, forever for her, like whether it be like 20 or 30 years, he was going to wait for her. And after he got in the taxi, Chizuru went over and went to the taxi and kissed him. And that's why he's confused. It's understandable. It is. It's understandable to be confused. But this is why I love Yumori as a character, because Yumori broke it down. She's like, yeah, she's basically testing you, man. You're in, but the kiss totally sealed the deal that he is in with Chizuru. But like, she is like, we women do this all the time. We test you men all the damn time.
Why?
Because it's a weird thing, okay?
It is.
It's an insecure thing. It's insecurity. There we go. That's the right wording. It's very much insecurity. We want to see if you still like if we're at our worst, if you still want to be with us. That's probably the best way to describe it.
Well, and unless you're up for a headache, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But we do have a headache to talk about. So apparently there is rumor going around that Universal Pictures is doing yet another Knight Rider revival tied to a shared universe. And we're getting a $6 million MCU here, $6 million man MCU. So Airwolf will also be part of this Knight Rider shared universe, as well as the $6 million man. So apparently at some point the government decided, let's just do some really expensive, really dumb shit. And we'll put it under Flag. That's what we'll do. So I have a feeling that's what they're going to do, is they're going to treat Flag like S.H.I.E.L.D. And they're just going to go around and deal with these vehicular-based people. Well,
like Miami
$6 million man. Yeah, so this is the Flag group, which is where Knight Rider, like, if you remember when Knight Rider would drive in the back of the truck, do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
So what happens is the back of that truck is this massive space. It's like the TARDIS, but it's not magical. It's just sort of a joke that when Knight Rider goes into the back of the truck, he ends up inside of this huge warehouse, like that has like a lounge and a hot tub and like it's like this ridiculous over the top office space. Way crazy office space that's in the back of this 18-wheeler, and that's the joke. And so every time this is Michael Knight, the Knight Rider guy. He's driving, so that's who Hasselhoff is. The guy next to him is basically the guy that runs Flag or whatever. So that guy will be the Nick Fury that goes around and is like, we're putting together a team of guys that do some stuff occasionally, but mostly uncoordinated.
I can see where this is going. Like, if they're doing a extended universe kind of thing, it would be Knight Rider, A-Team, and Miami Vice, and maybe Chips.
Well, see, what they've got right here is Knight Rider, Airwolf, and $6 million man. So they're all trying to wrap it under a military organization, because that's where all those came from.
A-Team would work. A-Team would work under
No,
that.
A-Team was not military. They were kicked out of the military. Remember, that was
right.
their whole story, is they were on the run. So they would not have anything to do with an official military operation. Nor would Miami Vice.
Miami Vice is police. That's right.
Right. They were drug police at that, so they have absolutely nothing to do with this. But then again, this could be about the cartels. Like, how do you deal with a country run by cartels?
Yeah.
You've got Knight Rider, one man, one car, one mission. And you just have the Knight Rider car blowing the fuck up out of the Mexican cartels. I mean, that sounds fun.
The only faith I have in this is that the Cobra Kai creators are working on Knight Rider. So the fact that they're working on it, like I think they're directing it. One of them's directing it. Oh yeah, they're co-directing it. That's right. But yeah, that's like the only saving grace for this is that the Cobra Kai directors are working on this.
And Alpha Omega is absolutely right. No one asked for any of it. No
one asked for this. No. But like, if we're gonna get it, then I'd rather have like someone like really talented working on it and not bastardize it.
Tie it all into that Terminator. Yeah, that Kit was the original Terminator program. That's right.
Oh my god, that would be freaking hilarious.
The $6 million man's body was the first one, first Terminator body. That's why it looks like a skeleton, because it's literally his flesh is rotted off the bionic skeleton they gave him.
Like, if we have a RoboCop Terminator situation, I'm gonna die.
Oh, they'll do it. They have nothing left. They did the Alien versus Predator. It's not like RoboCop they can hold Terminator. Out. Yeah, they can't hold out on that one. Kirby says the franchise is dead. Yeah, well, this is the graveyard of franchises right here. Now, here's the interesting thing. The demographic they're pitching to had absorbed this information in syndication. So they're trying to get the millennials to come out for this. Gen X is over the hill. They're trying to get the millennials to come out for this. We're the next biggest demographic under the boomers. The boomers, by 2030, are going to be in retirement homes. They don't go places anymore, so they won't be doing movies. So they're trying to grab the millennials, the last group of key people that were seeing this stuff on television, because the Zoomers and Alphas did not see this stuff on television. If mom and dad didn't have a DVD collection, these kids have no clue what the hell a Knight Rider, a Airwolf, or a $6 Million Man are.
Keep MacGyver out of it. All I'm going to say is keep MacGyver out of this. You already did a bad reboot of MacGyver. Just leave him alone. MacGyver.
Oh, he'll be like the after credits scene.
No, leave MacGyver alone. Leave him and his mullet alone.
We have a uncouth agent joining the team, and he's just off in the corner. You know, the first scene they zoom in on him, and he's like unwinding a paperclip, and then they say he's unethical, and you see him like screwing around with a smartwatch. And then the last one, he's joining the team, and then he's in a Gundam. He's got a paperclip and a smartwatch, and then he's piloting a Gundam.
I mean, I could see that happening in like Detective Conan. I mean, we see it in Dr. Stone. It happens in Dr. Stone, for Christ's sake.
Well, that's the joke, right? Is that you can MacGyver anything with just nothing. He's got, shoestring, bubble gum, and a paperclip, and somehow it's a bazooka now.
Exactly. That's basically Dr. Stone at this point. It is.
Why else would they decide mankind is effed up off the memories of crime fighting? Sure. Why not? The corrupted memories of Steve Rogers. Yeah, it was Steve Rogers. That's what his name was. Right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Who was the $60 million man? Who was the $6? Yeah, with $6 million was enough to build an android.
Oh my God.
Steve Austin. Sorry, Steve Austin. Not the Stone Cold kind. Though that would be hilarious. If they cast Stone Cold Steve Austin as the $6 million, he'd be the $6 billion man now.
Oh God! What if they cast John Cena as that?
You know what? I don't think they have a choice. They probably will. I think he's the only guy that could probably be physical enough to do it, because The Rock had to go down and Batista had to go down. I think Cena's the only one that's left that can possibly, look like he's built to be a machine man, not like some
Jason
dude.
Jason Momoa and Chris.
But he'd have to cut his hair. There's no way the military is going to bring in some long-haired, tattooed guy and be like, "Hey, man, we're going to give you robot powers."
Why not bring in Steve Austin for it?
Oh yeah, I guess Chris Hemsworth could do that. He's been in the Extraction movies, so he's got a good handle on how to handle like whipping dudes around.
Yeah,
that could probably work. I'd be interested to see who they cast for this stuff, because Hollywood's kind of run out of action men. If you haven't noticed, they've all kind of aged out. I think Toei's got their hands full. They got a lot of stuff coming out trying to reach the West right now. I'm not sure they would want to take on American properties. You gotta remember, they've got all that whole metal hero genre that they have not touched in forever. And that's Japan Person, Soul Brain, just the metal heroes themselves, like Gavan, the Space Sheriffs, Gavin, Scheider. You got all those guys that they just haven't touched in forever. They've had a couple of movies, but those have been tied in with anniversaries. So they've got their own thing that they can drag back out of the yesteryears that the millennials of Japan were absorbing through syndication the way we were getting this. But you know what they're not brave to do? They're not brave enough to do Team Knight Rider. Remember Team Knight Rider?
Yes.
This was the stupidest thing they ever did, and I love it because it was so dumb. They were like, you know what Knight Rider worked? It was just one man, one car, one mission. Well, how about there's a bunch of people, and there were a bunch of missions. And so the solution was just to be like, okay, we're just going to be honest about what we're doing here. We're not ever going to try and convince them it's anything other than what they already expect it to be. So here we go. Here's the trailer for it. I love this. I love bad things, okay, in case you haven't noticed.
It began when one man and one unique car waged a war on crime. Now, 5 fearless agents and 5 supercharged vehicles are taking it to the next level.
The next level.
With 5 times the excitement and 5 times the attitude. Take it to him, Beast. Holy.
Not Washington Monument.
Ride. Team Knight Rider coming in October.
Oh my god, it was so cheese. Oh,
I love it. I love this stuff. This was the shit. This was
so cheese. It was peak cheese.
Absolutely. So they took the success of Knight Rider, and they were like, well, how about we Power Rangerify it? Because Power Rangers had become such a huge thing. This was back in 1997. So Power Rangers had a movie, it had taken over the world, and it was kind of on the backswing. So they were like, hey, we could do this Power Ranger thing, but we can do it with cars. Again, but different, because they already did it with cars. Another way. So then they were like, these experimental AI that can like drive the car and shoot weaponry and just basically do the whole job without the human, except, like they can't order coffee and bring it back into the office because they're in cars. But anyway, it would be awesome if we just made 5 of those sons of bitches, removing the complete uniqueness of Kit, by the way. So that was the whole point, is that the Knight Rider car was the only car in the world that could do what it did. Car. So it was Knight Rider and car were the only 2 that could do what they did. That was the point of them. It's why that was why Knight Rider was so important. Now it's just like, oh no, we just copy paste that shit. You want it to have a dumb voice? Here, it's got a dumb voice. Now this one sounds like a child. Isn't that weird? Your child cars driving you around, asking you child questions all the time. Whee! Yeah, Team Knight Rider was so tone deaf. Their first villain was a murderous Lamborghini. And when I say a murderous Lamborghini, I mean, you know how they were copy and pasting all that Knight Rider tech into the hero cars? Well, it got copied and pasted into one that was not so heroic. That was part of the Team Knight Rider thing, is there were a slew of prototypes trying to clone Kit that completely turned into murderous machines. Kind of like the Ed 209 and that other freaky thing that RoboCop had to fight with the jetpack.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That Team Knight Riders thing was like, what if Iron Man Armor Wars, but cars?
Oh my god.
So there was all these murderous vehicles, and the only thing they could do was just run people over aggressively. They could shoot a missile occasionally, but the budget really wasn't there to blow up cars all the time. So it was just, they run around murdering people. Yeah, so Christine and Lambo, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was their first enemy. But there was like constantly episodes of like a truck got an evil truck, an evil tank, an evil crane, and it picks things up evilly. And then it puts them down evilly. And they were trying so hard. It was hilarious. And their base, by the way, was a plane. So they were constantly in the air, and that's how they got around. Like, if this Knight Rider went all over the country, but having 5 cars with 5 team members supported by the government going all over the country, well, that's a lot of infrastructure. And so they were like, giant plane. So they took the concept of the helicarrier, and they were like, let's just make it a giant plane. And they did. So there's like this 4 stories tall plane flying in the air that contains all of this military base. Oh man, I wish I could find the intro that has that. That's the one that was hilarious. But if you're wondering how we got on that topic, it's because we were talking about what was going on with Universal. Is that once again, they were like, hey, that MonsterVerse thing worked out really well. The one with Tom
yeah,
Cruise
let's
and the
try
mummy.
and reboot everything. Let's try
Let's
and
do that,
reboot
but-
everything.
Let's do that with lesser known properties. It's amazing.
But
Yeah,
still
good luck
no
out
Black
there,
Cauldron.
Catzilla.
But still no Black
that?
Cauldron live action.
No Pirates of Dark Water live action either.
Or Atlantis or Treasure Planet.
Whoa, that'd be a hot one right there. The Lost Empire of Atlantis, the animated one you're talking about.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that one becoming live action. That would be hot. That would be very hot.
That'd be so sick. But no,
That would be
Disney's stupid.
I don't think Disney is that a Disney movie?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. Yeah, right. That's like one of the last Don Bluth movies, right? Or when they were trying to copy Don Bluth, anyway.
I think they were trying to copy Don Bluth at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of copying, this has nothing to do with copying. But anyway, Evangelion Cross Reflections might be the next big obsession for anime fans. The Evangelion game is the next big anime game coming to major virtual reality platforms in 2026.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was good. We were getting an Evangelion VR game.
Yeah, ever wondered the horrors of fighting giant cosmic horrors inside of your mom? Now you can experience it. Shinji, climb inside your mom. Go fight the flying tetrahedron that's screaming like a child. Then do your math homework. You don't want to fall behind. Now you can experience it all in VR, right in your face. And you know what they're going to do? The very first scene is some guy getting squished in front of you and blood going everywhere. You know that's going to be the first fucking scene.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The plane was a C-130. No, this was like a C-130 on like steroids. It was a C-11130, you know? Like an amazingly giant version one. That was
You're going to
huge.
watch it. It's the 1995 anime events in VR. Oh God.
Yeah.
That's going to be so wild.
Are they going to give you a decision to touch Asuka's boobie? Are you going to be able to do that in VR?
Can you do that? I don't want to do that.
Because I know that's going to be the first thing a lot of dudes try to do. The first thing.
Asuka's tits, yeah.
Now, if you remember what happens there, so when the third impact happens in the VR and you grab Ray's boobies, do you get LCL'd? Or like, do you win the game?
That's a good question.
I feel like that would be a very Japanese thing to do, is if you grab her boobs at the end and like Shinji's dad did. Yeah. You're gonna win the game. I have a feeling. It'd be a very Japanese thing to do. It's like one of those secret endings. Gendo. Right. If you replace Gendo with the booby grabbing, you win. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's going to take you through the first 11 episodes. So you're going to get a lot of really crazy shit happening in front of you and happening in your ears. So good luck with that. I imagine the scene where you're inside of your mom and your arm gets ripped off and everything gets all like super bubbly. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that will be
Just
very
remember,
interesting.
You're inside your mom.
Inside your mom.
I'm sorry. That whole as soon as they revealed that in the anime, I couldn't stop laughing. 20 years later, I'm still laughing about it.
Oh, Kitty, be quiet. I'm sorry. My kitty is being very fussy.
Now, I have been dancing around this one because I don't really want to talk about it.
Which one?
I don't really want to talk about.
About the Japanese prime minister.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about this because it's not that it's a bad thing. It's not that it's a bad thing for Japan. Ishiba's been bumpy. Let's put it that way. He's been difficult. Yeah. The reason why we're bringing it up on this channel is because this was the fellow that listened to the case on Assassin's Creed Shadows abusing Japanese culture. Okay? This is the prime minister that heard that case. Sorry, I'm a little wheezy there. So, Ishiba has been having a lot of trouble. The election hasn't gone well, and the election didn't go well because the economy is difficult for young people, and older people are having trouble just maintaining because, there's not a lot of young people around to help maintain. The country isn't I'm sorry, I'm wheezing like a fucking flute. I sound like I have like one of those squeaker things stuck in my throat. I'm sorry, it's very annoying. Anyway,
I gotta get Zeno
Sure.
food, or he's just gonna keep meowing.
Sure, no problem. So what's going on here is Ishiba's been in trouble. The country's been, it's probably, if you're familiar with these two guys, this is a pretty good way to put it. But if you're not, Ishiba was not making decisions on behalf of the average Japanese person. I'm just going to say that. I don't live in Japan. I don't have any connection to the country that I know of. I just happen to enjoy their media quite a bit, and I happen to enjoy their culture quite a bit. And I study it on and off. So I'm not an expert. But what is happening is that Ishiba is stepping aside now. Now, of course, he went toe to toe with Trump over the tariffs, and everybody in his party was like, "Hey, don't do that. That would be a very bad idea to do that." So they ended up compromising on that one. So now more American things will be in Japan. Ishiba also announced a few weeks ago that he would be importing more people from Africa, more people from South America, more people from Vietnam, more people from China, more people from India, in order to ease the woes of Japan's immigration crisis. Excuse me, population crisis. It is an immigration crisis at this point, but what that did was it caused a very strange man, that's annoying. Caused a very strange reaction with a lot of people. So Sanseto Party, this is the orange guys you see, they've been in the news a lot for being a nationalist party. Well, because this conversation came up, their leader got outed as being like, well, a lot of the immigrants are okay, but there's only a few of them that we really need to ham out. We need to make sure that the immigrants are not weighing the Japanese people, which is a few steps back from how he was pitching himself and his party when they first came along. And so that was an unexpected fallout from Ishiba's announcement about importing more people. Then it came out that Japan's creating these linked cities, these hometowns for African towns. Now, ordinarily, you'd register this as a sister city. Maine has one with Japan. It's somewhere in the northern region, I believe. A crew of Maine sailors sank off the coast of Japan, and they were, aided back to life and returned back to the United States by the local Japanese there. And so these groups of people became entwined through, the sailors being stuck there and being nursed back to health after surviving the accident, and then, of course, staying there waiting for, reprisal back to the United States. And so that's how those became linked cities. I think it's Bath in Maine is linked with this place in Japan. So this is different. This is not a place where like people from Maine can just walk into that place in Japan and it's cool. Like they need to have regular passports like everybody else. What went around in Nigeria was that Japan had created cities where Nigerians can just show up and live. Now, with Ishiba's announcement to import more African people into the country, well, that started triggering a lot of reactions in Nigeria that, well, we're taking over Japan now. There were many, many news media, like print, visual, and audio in Nigeria. They were like, hey, go to Japan. They've cleared a place for us. We live there now. We own that place. They said it. They're giving us whole cities to go live in. And so a lot of people in Nigeria were getting very excited about the prospect of just simply moving to Japan because the Japanese people wanted them there. Meanwhile, this was not the intention. Japan was simply trying to create this sort of relationship with Nigeria as Nigeria is emerging out of being a second world country, kind of into a first world. Again, I'm not trying to make things difficult for Nigeria or speak down on them, but Japan's trying to position itself in the northern African nations that are building their way out of so many centuries of war and conflict that have kept their region from prospering in any kind of continuous way. I remind you, Nigeria is where the Songhai Empire was, and the Songhai Empire went through 7 civil wars. Okay, a lot of intense stuff has happened there. So the Japan is positioning itself to be partnered with this as Nigerian cities continue to be completed and more people are moving in to populate them. Japan wants to be there to be a business partner as this new economic market in Africa is opening up. Now, again, believe what you will about if that's possible or not, or whatever. I don't. I just flatly believe that Africa is sort of its own space and they have a lot of work to do to figure out how to, inter commerce trade, like between the different African nations before other countries should really be getting back into that mess again. The Congo is still a huge mess. You've got Chad that's still in complete disarray, and the mess in South Africa is causing all kinds of trouble throughout the region. So it's just not a wise idea to be going and trying to make friends in that space when there's so much violence just pouring out of every corner. So the people in Japan responded incredibly negative to this opportunity that Ishiba was putting forward, as they should. Japan's in a precarious position right now where it needs to protect its people, not its economy. Now, I know that seems bizarre, but this is what Ishiba decided, is that we are going to protect our economy at the cost of our people. We will import cheap labor, and we will make use of that labor, which will eventually extinct the Japanese people, but the Japanese economy will continue to chug along. And this is the bet that the Americans made up until Trump came through and started cleaning stuff out. Now, feel how you like about it, but that's how a lot of people voted for him. That's what they voted for, was to see the cheap labor that has been enslaved here, largely. I mean, they're not even paid a regular wage here in the United States. I can't say the same for Japan. I assume that they're cheap there. That's kind of the angle for them. And so Ishiba was like, we're going to import more of these. Japanese people said, no, we're not going to do that. And so this was the final showdown. Ishiba had been pushing buttons with people by going against Trump, by creating a bunch of tension with the Japanese people, by trying to buddy up with China, bring in more Chinese businessmen. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there are no just like regular Chinese businessmen that are like, la-di-da, I'm a Chinese billionaire, totally unconnected to the government. That doesn't exist. That does not exist. Every last billionaire, millionaire, thousandaire in China is connected to the government. In order to have a business in China of any size beyond like a hot dog stand, the government has to be sitting on your board of directors or directly involved with decision-making of your company. Okay? Ta-da! So no, you go bringing over these Chinese businessmen, you're bringing over the CCP. There's no way around that. And of course, the Chinese businessmen are trying to get out of China as their labor drains out into India. And so all this is collapsing around Ishiba's head. All he wanted to do was keep the Japanese economy going at all costs. Because again, in this world, this globalized world, money is what matters. It's not nothing to do with the Japanese mindset about business, nothing to do with the American mindset about business. It's how these corporations that own everything, like BlackRock, have decided to operate it. And Ishiba was just mainly doing the job that he was selected, not voted for, selected to do. Because I'll remind you, LDP just put this guy in. The average Japanese didn't get a chance. They didn't get a say in that. LDP was just like, nope, that guy, that's the guy that's going to do it. And I still don't know how. I can't, he got caught handing out $100,000 gift cards. Maybe that's how he did it, is he was like, do you want a $100,000 gift card to Amazon? Do you want a $100,000 gift card to Olive Garden? Maybe that's how he did it. I don't know. I can't tell you. Ishiba's hugely into keeping the economy going at all costs. Just very difficult guy to talk to about much of anything to begin with. He's got that good politician, no direct answers style. And then, of course, that poker face that barely flinches until he falls asleep, and then he looks like a dead fish. It's bizarre. I don't know how he got there. But you have people who are running, who is Miss Takaichi. Now, Miss Takaichi was originally, I would guess, built up by Mr. Abe. This is the prime minister that we all know and love, Shinzo Abe, who was tragically cut down, I think 3 years ago now. So Takaichi is meant to be was meant to be Abe's successor, like directly, like bing bang boom was supposed to happen. Of course, everything sort of fell apart in the fallout from COVID, and then the Japanese miracle falling away in the early 2000s really kind of tripped up a lot of the plan for the future. And so that didn't come to be. But Takaichi is a when I say Japanese nationalist, it's not what I mean when like they're gonna go hurt somebody or something like that. Miss Takaichi is very passionate about the Japanese people, the way that Shinzo Abe was passionate about the Japanese people. You can talk all you like about appreciating Japan and appreciating the people that live there and being very thankful for their votes and support and whatnot. But Mr. Abe wanted to be among the people. It's one of the things I noticed about Ishiba is that he's one of those guys that likes to enjoy the role he plays. He's highfalutin. He's one of those fellas that I'm the leader of the country. You can't touch me, that sort of thing. Too clean, I guess. Too clean to touch. I'm not sure. But Shinzo, he was out having ice cream with the people, taking selfies while he was having ice cream. He was constantly with the children. He was constantly out with the sports teams until he got too sick. And of course, that ended up causing his resignation. Now, Ishiba steps down because of the series of mistakes that he's made. Very different. Ishiba's not leaving this position because he has a sickness. He's not leaving this position because he has some type of family emergency. He is leaving this position because all faith in his ability to lead has evaporated in the past 8 months, 10 months. There wasn't a lot to begin with, to be, really. He barely won in the runoff against Takaichi, and Kishida hates Takaichi, so he was chosen. Well, and that's just it, is that they're all very uncomfortable with the concept of having a woman being prime minister. There's a different idea about leadership in Japan. They talk. There was a thought leader, controversial fellow. I think his name is Mishima. Mishima, maybe not Machinima, but it's like Mishima. And he was controversial. Had some ideas, some pretty intense ideas. But he talked about Japanese men not having like the chest for leadership anymore. And in order to lead, you must have like the chest for it. C.S. Lewis talked about having the full chest when you're out being a leader. And that is somewhat the mentality behind the resistance to Miss Takaichi, is that men in Japan are still with the idea that women are submissive. And in particular, Japanese women in the region of the Orient have well, they're known for being submissive. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we're talking Orient region. We're talking China, Japan, Korea. I'd say India as well, too.
Yeah, right? The Philippines. Just that general Pacific,
like,
Asian space.
Pacific Islander.
Even the Russian women, of course, they're surly to begin with. But the Japanese women tend to have a reputation of being submissive. And so this has been like their... Well, Alpha's correcting me that like there's other reasons, but what I'm trying to say is like on the ground there's hesitation, in the regular streets there's hesitation, but the Kishida versus Abe group thing, that's contributing to the resistance to her. But the public and the regular senators that aren't embattled like this have this problem, not because she's not a good leader. It's just one of those things that's, I wouldn't say it's a hangover from old times, because, by and large, women are conflict avoidant. Look at Carly Fiorina. She ended up causing a huge problem at Hewlett Packard because there were problems that she wouldn't tackle. Not that Takaichi suffers from this. Not at all. It's not what I'm suggesting. It's just what I'm saying is that there's an idea about women in leadership roles still. And so that's a big battle for her. And so
it's a big battle for women in a lot of countries too. But yeah.
Omega says, Kishida hates Takaichi because she was Abe's successor and not him. Once you realize he was part of the WF, it's easy to understand why he was passed over. Yeah. Well, of course. The big problem with the WEF is that, like they said, they penetrate the cabinets. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we find out that Ishiba is one of Klaus Schwab's like pet proteges, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either.
Even Putin calls Klaus Papa Klaus. So it's really weird. Kamchi says, considering how many immigration, especially the illegal ones, has caused so much problem, that isn't a joke. It's really not. I mean, like they're up against it over there in Japan because, like up here in Maine, we feel like 100,000 people coming in here. We're only 1.5, 1.3, 1.2 million people now, even with all the added immigration. So I can understand how Japan feels having hundreds of thousands and close to 1 million people just flooding in there over the past 5 years. I can't imagine walking down the street now in any populous city in Japan because it's just rife with people who are used to not so great living standards. And as the average Japanese person, you are used to very high standard of living, that you have certain public appearances. You have the obligation to keep the area you're in clean. You have the obligation to deal with trash. You have the obligation to deal with anything that is within your realm to deal with or report to the people who can deal with it. But the folks that, you know, Ishiba's bringing in here to fill the gap, they're from countries where this kind of behavior just isn't standard. Survival is standard, and survival isn't very clean most of the time. Survival gets very survivey. And that's what's happened with Ishiba. I'd say that there's a lot more like background politics to this too, because like I said, he got caught with handing out $100,000 gift cards to people shortly after his election, or some bill passed and he was got caught handing this stuff out.
Well, there's also the tariff situation happening as well.
I believe that they gave in.
They did, which was...
Yeah, but he got caught with like resisting the tariffs, and a lot of the Japanese people were like, "Oh, I don't know if that's a good idea or not." But either way, the hope is that they will not do this as like one of those internal party decisions. They decide to replace the person again, because Miss Takaichi stands a chance of losing that contest again. I hope it goes to the general electorate, to the regular Japanese people. But Japanese efficiency is not known for those kinds of decisions. It's very inefficient to go have a sudden election. You got to print up everything, go through the campaign process. Whereas the more efficient thing is to say, well, all these people are gathered here in the national diet, the Congress, if you will, for a reason. They're here to represent the people. So let's just have a vote on those people on the leader of who represents everybody. And that is more in the line of Japanese efficiency, for good or for bad.
I know the majority of people are worried about whoever gets elected they're going to censor anime and manga. I've been trying to see if Akamatsu or any of the other politicians have said anything. Akamatsu has not said anything on Twitter. I haven't checked to see if Taro has said anything because I've been like so swamped. But the election is October 4th. Okay. But yeah, I know there's the one Japanese politician, and Spencer and I have talked about it on here, that's interacting with everyone. I'm just like, I'm still skeptical of them, to be honest. I just feel like he's kind of leading people. I think he's kind of leading people on, in my honest opinion. But, because as messed up as it is, like, you know how politicians are, how they will take you on for a ride and like say all this stuff and make all these promises. It just feels like whenever I see his tweets about like censorship, I'm like, first of all, what are you going to do about it? All you're doing is complaining and bitching, like we all are. And the other thing is like, why aren't you working with the other people, the other politicians like Akamatsu and Taro, who are actually doing something about it? That's my line of thinking.
You never know with these guys, you know, like with every politician on earth, they have their own agendas despite what they say out loud. So, you know, I don't really know.
It's all about the actions that they do. Like we've seen with some of these Japanese politicians that like Akamatsu and Taro, they they actually mean what they say. They actually talk the talk. They're doing what they said they were going to do. Then you have all these other Akamatsu Taro won't say a word. Oh, okay. So they can't because they're junior members on the diet. So speaking out, that makes sense. Thank you. So that's why I haven't seen anything.
Well,
that makes a lot more sense.
You probably won't see them for a couple more cycles before they're up to doing anything. Just recently, the guy that brought Hiroyuki Kada, the man that brought Assassin's Creed Shadows to Ishiba's attention, that guy just recently won re-election. He was pretty close, but he authored the immigration bill amendment that was removing criminals the day it was passed, like it was done. It was on the docket, in place, ready to go. So that kind of do it attitude works.
That's what I mean. That do it attitude.
But that's what I was talking about with Sanseto earlier. Yeah. Sanseto came out and said, we're against immigration. And their leader came out during a Shiba import talking about importing everybody and saying like, well, BT dubs, we're not exactly against that. We just think the quality should be higher.
Which I think is fair.
I don't. Japan needs to go back to like 2005 standards. You don't come to that country unless you have a job already or a bachelor's degree.
I agree with that. That's what I mean by immigration. Like if you have you got to know the language. That's what it kind of used to be here in the U.S. That you know the language, you pass an immigration test on American history, and what was the other thing?
The laws.
I don't think you had to have a job ready, but you had to have at least a degree. It wasn't like we were importing technically we're kind of importing the third world to an extent. But like there used to be standards in U.S. immigration as well. That's my point.
The 1960 Hard Seller Act passed, and it was, hey, pal, you want to be an American? Come on in. So Japan has since moved more in our direction, which was a bad idea. In 2005, they had a pretty solid immigration policy, which, like I said, you had to have a bachelor's degree and you had to have a job lined up. You could not just walk into Japan.
Period.
I think that was before 2005. I think they let that one up by then. And the only reason why I do that is because there's a lot of Koreans that would probably be able to come across and help, and probably a lot of, again, like Australians that might be able to come across and help. And so, like I said, you just want to, that's why I go with 05, because 05 was like, hey man, if you don't have a purpose to be here, you need to get the fuck out. And that's what I think is the best way to handle the immigration policy. But again, Ishiba's been another one that's resisted even the implementation of AI. Japan is lagging behind the rest of the world in AI development. You'd think they'd be leading it, but nope. They barely have any industries that are really invested in it to begin with. They have besides
the entertainment industries, like I know AI is used in Japanese video games. It's whether you like it or not, it is used in anime, video games, and even manga artists use AI as well. And it's been like that for a long time. It's not like the way that when people think of AI, they're like, oh, they're just using it for all their art. It's like, no. It's just for like simple things. Like even Toei released something explaining it where it's just like simple things like backgrounds or for in between shots. So that way they don't have to outsource it to China. Like it's simple things like that they're doing it for.
That's what I mean, is that comparatively, they're behind the rest of the world on it. It's just one of those things that Ishiba has not been prioritizing. They have not been trying to seize up chip production either, now that Taiwan is starting to soften with it. So it's one of those things that Ishiba getting out of the way answers a lot of questions. It gets a lot of balls rolling that should have been rolling a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But now with today's like the availability of what we have today and the available knowledge you can put together, they can catch up pretty quick.
Oh, but hands down, if the red tape is gone and people are allowed to like do their thing and innovate, hands down, Japan, and it would be the same thing with South Korea as well. Just get rid of the red tape and they will innovate.
We talked to him as well through Bounding. I've forgotten his name off the top of my head because he has a unique nickname, and that's how we know him.
A politician. Okay, because I was like, wait.
Yeah, he was not in the diet. He was part of the Tokyo counselors, something to do with the Tokyo Control Board, or like the group in charge of making decisions for Tokyo. That group. So he was part of that. That's who that guy was. This isn't Ishiba. This is another fella. I just can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, he's part of the special group for anti-censorship, and another one that's fighting very hard to bring the dialogue that's happening around the world to the Japanese, who are almost entirely unaware of it. It's one of the most strange things I've noticed about this like past 10 years of Japan, is that the culture around the world is sort of escaping what's going on for them. I don't know what's really driven a lot of the Japanese people to look, to not be aware of what's going on, I guess. But it seems to be that like the majority of them need to be like shown that the rest of the world is fighting this battle on their behalf, largely because anime is what catches the most slings and arrows.
Well, I mean, I've said this before. This is what my anime insider has told me, is that they didn't know what was happening, because once it leaves, and this is why I call bull crap on a lot of the localizers saying that, oh, we get it approved by the studio. No, because what I heard is once it leaves the studio, or in the case of manga, I gotta get that confirmed, but I think it's got to be the same thing with manga. Once it leaves, it's gone. They don't see it. They don't see any of the localizations. They don't see any of the dubs. They don't see any of it. And it's because of people like me. It's because of people like Fukuji, the fishy, Fukuji, there he is. Fukuji, the fishy YouTuber, and some of the other Japanese YouTubers, that there's more awareness of the censorship that has been happening overseas. It's because of people like us that are doing it. And so like when I saw, I can't remember his name. When I saw the politician like saying all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, Japanese like fans have kind of learned about this. Like what? Like, oh, this was when I think I turned my childhood friend into a girl happened. So this was like in 2022. I think this is when Bakuji started their coverage of botch localizations. If I remember correctly, you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's when it started. Was back in 2022 was when they really started their coverage.
So Alpha says Western weebs are not going to like this election. The choices so far: possible anime censorship versus definite flooding the country with third worlders. People are going to prefer possible censorship. Well, the thing that I know will defeat that is that they're trying very hard to encourage people to have sex, and Japanese people are notoriously difficult about this. Men talk a lot about how women are standoffish, and you must ask 3 times for them to date you, and then they're okay with it. At least twice, anyway. It's not appropriate for her to respond in the affirmative. She's being too eager if she's responding, yes, I will go out to a date with you in the first ask. Typically. So I've seen a lot of Japanese men write about this and talk about the experience of how hard it is to get a date with a Japanese woman, because she's flooded with all these exotic options, and then on the other end, she's not allowed to respond right off the bat with positives. So with the affirmation. So again, you don't have to obey those rules. It's not a law. You're not going to get your hands chopped off if you don't obey that. Right. It's a cultural thing. And so it does make dating very difficult in Japan. And I feel that anime starts a conversation. Video games start a conversation. Music starts a conversation. It allows these two people who ordinarily would have to stumble through an awkward conversation of confessing their feelings to having a conversation about mutual interests and discovering, well, hey, we happen to like the same things. And that, Korea's been trying to force people to have those conversations, by the way. You've heard about those dating, speed dating things. And those didn't work. This is not natural. You're just stuffing a bunch of people with a lazy afternoon into a place and hoping they have kids. And
that's not the best way to go about that. Nah.
And so that's
something that I sent this to you. I don't remember if I put it in the group chat or not. But the Togenanki mangaka Rushibara, like we've talked about him here before, he's a proud papa. He just had his baby like this year with his wife.
Whoa. Syphilis?
Uh-oh.
How? How do you even?
with all
In the
the
year of our Lord 2025, how in the hell are you
with
getting
all the contraception available? How?
This is wow, amongst the young people at that. My God.
Are they not teaching about safe sex or something in Japan?
Well, no, again, the population's so small, you get like 10,000 of them that have a problem. Well, that's going to spread pretty far and wide.
Well, the point I was going to make was that Orochimaru was saying when he took, I think it was when he took his kid to the doctor, it was full of, it was babies. It was full of babies, young kids. So the Japanese are having babies. They are. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about it, but like, yeah, I see it from various mangaka I talk to on a regular basis. Is they love talking about their kids. They do. I mean, Tabata's had it really bad. Let's be real, but he loves his family. I mean, it was years ago for Tagashi, the mangaka of Hunter x Hunter, but he has his family too. I think he has I know he at least has one kid. I don't remember if he has one or two kids. I know Tabata has at least one kid. He's like, I think his kid is, I think they're under 10 years old, if I remember correctly. I can't remember. But yeah, like a lot of these mangaka are starting young families. I mean, the mangaka I interviewed for Bounding for Tokyo she was the mangaka of Tokyo Underworld. She is married and has a kid. And I thought, part of the interview I did with her was about how because she wanted to do weekly serialization. She had the option of doing a bi-weekly if she wanted to, because Jump Plus has been very accommodating. But she said she wanted to do a weekly serialization, and she held back on it a little bit until she had everything set with her husband and her child before she really got into it, which I thought was really, really smart. But yeah, so yeah, the point is babies are being made. They are being made in Japan. It's just not talked about as much, I guess, in the West. I don't know.
Well, it's just not, it's not moving the needle, I guess, enough.
It's not moving enough.
Right, to really create a measurable response for people to be like, Japan's fixed its baby problem. I guess maybe a few more years?
Yeah, maybe a few more years. Like, I think I mean, another thing is, Japanese voice actors, anime voice actors are getting married and having babies like no other. So I think probably, and I think this has been over the past couple of years we've seen this, where a lot of Japanese voice actors are getting married and settling down and having kids. So I think maybe in the next couple of years, I think we'll see something. I think there will be a baby boom in Japan in the next few years or so. Because because young people are seeing their idols get married and have kids. That tells the young people, it's like, I want to be, who look up to them, it's like, I want to be like them, and they will get married and have kids. That's what I kind of see.
And then there's this guy. Japanese man, 35, has 4 wives and 2 girlfriends. Hasn't worked in 10 years as he lives off them.
That's the dream.
He plans to continue expanding his family. Wishes to have 54 children.
Jesus Christ, man.
This guy having 54 kids. I love it. I just look forward to a Super Sentai team just being entirely comprised of his descendants someday.
Hopefully
just they're all related to him, Genghis Khan style.
I mean,
Chad, right?
You know who really, at least in the U.S. anyway, who's contributing to the population growth is Phillip Rivers. He has enough kids to make his own football team. He's the former quarterback of the San Diego Chargers.
Gonorrhea and syphilis.
For those who don't know. But
How?
Is it? Wait, what?
I could understand this for a place like, Mozambique or, some really off the wall, way out there place in China where they don't know, they don't have rolling electricity, one of those crazy rice farmer villages. They have one truck between them. I can understand this, but how do you end up with gonorrhea and syphilis in Japan?
They aren't practicing safe sex, I guess.
Well, obviously, but I mean, it just blows my mind,
Or an immigrant, or maybe an immigrant introduced it.
Well, again, like all it takes is one to start the chain, but it just blows my mind that so many people can contract it in this day and age, the year of our Lord 2025 in Japan. Surprises me to no end. But yeah, this guy did it. He did the deal. He decided, you know what, I'm going to fix the birth rate by myself. And he did.
Why not?
He did.
As long as there's no inbreeding.
Ryuta lives in Sapporo, and he has 3 children so far. And this was way back in, this is just last year. Never mind. So let's hope he has like 40 more by now, because he's got a long way to go. He's got to have 54 kids before he dies. So God bless him. I hope he makes it there. I don't know. It's something to aspire toward, I guess, right? Something to aspire toward. But we do have a little bit of gaming news to top off here. Earlier, there was... I'm trying to find it. Yeah. Earlier, Visa came out and said, hey, we want to take over gaming culture. So here's a listing. Here's a write-up from Alfie Brody. He's the...
took it down, by the way. Visa took it down, according to reviews.
Yeah, they took that down. Yep. So Alfie Brody wrote, gaming is no longer just play. It's culture, community, commerce. Gen Z and Gen Alpha spend more time gaming than any other media. At Visa, our mission is to uplift everyone everywhere by being the best way to pay and be paid. Now we're bringing that purpose into the gaming ecosystem. Oh boy. As director, Global Gaming Partnerships, you'll lead the charge in building transformative collaborations with publishers, platforms, leagues, and creators, reimagining how payments power the future of play. This role is about more than partnerships. It's about building global strategies that unlock new opportunities for players and partners alike, driving innovation where gaming and commerce collide, championing economic empowerment in one of the most fastest growing cultural movements on the planet. Man, this is a wet dream for an investor. But yeah, as Smash JT reports, this happened. They went out there, they were on LinkedIn, they were like, hey, we're looking for you. We need you. And then when word got around that he was talking about it, or others were talking about it too, they took it down. Like Nerdigan said, it was gone.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it anymore. It's all over. But there it is. It was there, and you would have made $245,400 a year if you did your, industry milking job well.
Yeah.
Where did that go? So, and here's the saga. So, there it is. And it's gone. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. When they realize their mistake and step in it and then just immediately back away. Like, I did make a video for this, but whatever. But won't worry about it. Gotta upload it. I forgot to upload it. Won't worry about it. I do want to bring up more stuff, though, because I just ran across this and I forgot about it. So here is a preview for Tron Ares, and apparently Mr. Beast will be photoshopped into Tron Ares. So there you go.
Dude, Mr. Beast is in the NFL for promos. For Christ's
he has his own
sake.
anime.
I'm so tired of Mr. Beast. Like, we didn't see this crap with PewDiePie. Like, PewDiePie did some things, but like he was in a South Park episode.
Well, this was way back when they were still trying to figure out what YouTubers even were. Now they know how to monetize them. So obviously they're going to run at that full speed.
It's very frustrating. I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of these YouTubers. I don't care about them. And this is like Taylor Swift all over again. Like the NFL focused on Taylor Swift. Nobody cares about Taylor Swift except the Swifties. No one cares. Just focus on the football.
Yeah, like that one. It was like, Mr. President, we're in the middle of a discussion about possibly going to war with another nation. Could you let us know how you feel about Taylor Swift getting engaged?
Like, no one cares. No one cares. except the Swifties.
I felt the
maybe
life leave my
Kansas
body when
City
she
Chiefs
said
fans.
that. I was like, you cannot be real right now. You can't be real.
Like, who the fuck cares? Like, people were saying that this is like going to be like a royal wedding. No. You are not going to compare this to like the royal wedding. If you want to say like a musician royal wedding, if you want to call one a royal wedding, then you can maybe like make the argument for like Beyonce and Jay-Z. That's like the closest you're going to get. But not this. This ain't it. No, this ain't it.
I do have a meme to finish the evening out here. This is they recast Kang.
Oh my God, Cider! I got a story for you.
It's all the different Pedro Pascals. Look, all the different.
Oh my God, that is evil. But man, did you see with the Gundam QX? I think it was the director that said this, right? Yeah, the director said that a lot of stuff was put in on the fly. Which really makes sense. It totally does. That scenes, many of the scenes and story beats were added or changed on the fly as the director couldn't help but try to do his own plans. Like, that makes so much sense for this anime. Oh my God. Based on what I've seen, it's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And you
want to know
who does
why
Mr. Beast even appeal to? Well, to be clear on Mr. Beast, who he appeals to is he appeals to most of the alphas, actually. Is when you talk to them, he's like annoying in that he's always everywhere. But on the other end, he's also like who they want to be. You have to remember where millennials kind of grew up and we wanted to be like the tech heroes. We wanted to invent and create a new thing. These kids want to be content creators. That's what they want to give to the world.
Well, you also have Zoomers that wanted to be like PewDiePie.
That's what I mean, is they wanted to be content creators and then like check out on a high note, retire early in a foreign country.
And be married and have a kid.
Sure. Who wouldn't want to get married to an Italian supermodel and have a child and live in Japan and just make videos for the fun of it that millions of people pay you money to see? So who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want that? Another guy winning at life. Another guy winning. But this is not winning. See, Gundam is known for its well thought out plot lines. Even G Gundam had like a full through plan before any pens met paper beyond concept art. And when you're going through with a Gundam show, like you can get away with this with like Transformers, you can get away with this with Power Rangers, obviously. But Gundam requires a consistent narrative in order for the whole war bad thing to come through. And basically the only consistent narrative we had here was that new types can do some crazy shit. That was pretty much the only consistent narrative we had here. Maybe that was on purpose because this whole universe was a fever dream of Lala Soon in like a half dead state. So I guess maybe it's like true to point, but that's the problem is that Gundam's core thing is like, hey, murdering people's bad. And this story was like, loving somebody too much is bad. I'm not really sure what
work for this. Like you could.
Well, I'm not sure what the moral was. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell GQX was even about. From what I get is that it was just Lala Soon. Like, I don't want to leave Char's dick. I like that white boy dick, and that's all it really boiled down to in the end. Is she liked Char a lot and didn't want him to die or her to die or whatever.
Well, like you could get away with some things. Like if you're going to do shit on the fly, you could get away with it on certain projects, like especially if it's like a new IP. But like for something like Gundam, you can't do that. You can't do that with Gundam.
No, you can't. You can't fly by the seat of your pants with Gundam. Even the silly ones like the SD Gundams and things like that have fleshed out like what does this lead to plot lines. So
this was just a giant clusterfuck, basically.
The more we learn about this, the more it feels like they were scrambling to hide Witch from Mercury as fast as possible to bury
that's what it sounds like because of the controversy with the lesbian ending.
Yeah,
that probably was what they were doing.
Again, like blue-eyed, red-haired protagonist in not normal-looking Gundam doing crazy shit. You know, that's the same Witch from Mercury thing. The school is missing, which was a huge complaint. The school aspect is missing from it, obviously.
Which
And
is
they
what people
amped up. Right, and they didn't like the little trial battles that Suletta was going through in The Witch from Mercury. So obviously, they amped up everything for this one. And again, that might have been what they were doing, is they're just looking at Twitter comments. They're like, fuck, we gotta change the anime, it's trending. They just walk in with a bunch of Twitter screenshots. Okay, we need to fix the anime. How do we do it? Okay.
This is why you don't want to appeal to the global audience and just do your vision.
Right. Yep. But who knows? At the end of the day, I think we're going to end up seeing Gundam go through a massive change anyway. They've come kind of to the end of the line with War Bad. And I think they need to tell more intimate stories about conflict, because IBO is still a beloved one here in the West. A lot of people in the West really like it. Gundam Wing, of course, is a story of rebellion, so it's very beloved here. And we had like the Power Ranger Gundams. They were all very different and varied, and there were 5 of them. Aha! And then the 6th one showed up halfway through, just like the Power Rangers, guys. So, yeah, that's I think that Gundam would do better if it moved back to more intimate stories like that. But we'll have to wait and find out what they do with it, because for right now, there's like 3 different plans going on with Gundam. They're still putting out Hathaway's Flash still. There's still chapters of Hathaway's Flash coming out almost 10 years later. So
I think there's a new Gundam manga coming out as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and I think Thunderbolt
Thunderbolt
ended,
is
Thunderbolt
manga is over, but the anime is still going. They did Desert Bandit, I think was the last one, and there's another one coming that finishes the story, I think. And then there was the Moon Gundam something was supposed to happen with Moon Gundam, but that was a manga that already came out. Never mind. So we'll have to wait and find out, though, because again, we're just ending the 30 years of Gundam Wing celebration. So we'll be moving on to.
I think it's like 29 years of, or was it 25 for G Gundam or something like that? I forgot.
No, they're older
than 40. Yeah, it was 40 something years of G Gundam, and then there was like what was it?
30.
Like it was 30. It
was the year before Gundam Wing came out. G Gundam was preceding Gundam Wing by 1 year.
That's right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so there was the G Gundam anniversary. G Gundam had an anime release as well. So, and Mobile Suit, and then there was the major Mobile Suit Gundam anniversary, and all that merch that came out, like the Hatsune Miku stuff. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Sakuramita asked, did you miss Jacob? Jacob is taking some time to just live life. He's been doing streams for about 3 years now, and he's decided he wants to just try out what it feels like to just be a dude. So he'll be back, just like Spencer. Spencer's likewise got stuff to take care of away from the streams. Nobody's abandoned anything, just kind of, had the nose to the grind too long and need to take a breather. So, but rest assured, Miss Nerdigans and I are here to chit chat to you about all the things under the sun that we managed to bring up during the show. And that probably does it for us here at the just past 9 o'clock here on my end. Miss Nerdigans?
There was one other thing. There was the, and I'm just going to mention it real briefly. There was the sequel to Jujutsu Kaisen that was released yesterday. And you guys stay tuned for my article that is going to hopefully be out soon on it, as well as season 3. So for this, real quick, it's basically set 68 years after the events of Jujutsu Kaisen, and now aliens are added into the mix. And it is following Akotsu and Maki's grandchildren. So think like Jujutsu Kaisen, Next Generation, but with aliens. That's what it's kind of giving. When I covered it yesterday, the art is by the Cypher Academy mangaka, and Gege's doing the writing. When I covered it yesterday, the first thing I thought of was, I'm like, I think it was Midway maybe. I was thinking, like, why didn't Shueisha try to get like Hell's Paradise Shikakuraku mangaka Yuji Kaku, because that art fits Gege's art style a lot better. Because to me, this art that we have is way too clean because Gege's art is very abstract and messy. So it kind of bothered me. But Gege, apparently, from what I found, Gege did select them and is sending them storyboards and drafts too. So they're getting everything directly from Gege. So it'll be interesting to see how this series goes. It's going to be a 6-month serialization, so 3 volumes. And there's also a Jujutsu Kaisen light novel coming out. It's just the main thing that's bothering me about this is that it's a sequel and it's not a midquel to kind of fix the problems that were at the end of the manga. Because there was quite a bit. So I'm hoping that Jujutsu Kaisen anime will have hopefully there will be a 1,000-year blood war situation for that to fix that clusterfuck. Oh my God, I'm telling you, people say Oshinoko was the worst ending last year. No. Nah, those people are just bitching about ships and shit. Nah, Jujutsu Kaisen by far had the worst ending of last year, and it's close to being, at least for me anyway, one of the worst endings of all time, at least that I've covered.
Oh, wow.
It is really bad. It is bad. It's almost as bad as Domestic Nakanojo, which is like the worst ending that I've ever covered in my 10 years of covering manga on YouTube.
I don't know, man. Like Big O's ending was just kind of like, we're done here, bye.
Well, in terms of anime, that's different, right? Or did you?
Oh, right, yeah. Right, because there was no Big O manga. That's right.
There's a Big O manga.
It must have happened after the show because the show was.
It happened after the show.
Yeah,
it's one of those things like Kill la Kill has it. What's the other one? Carol and Tuesday has a manga adaptation. Carol and Tuesdays is really good.
How do they do the music? They have like QR codes.
Well, you don't do the music, but like you get the story has a little bit more depth to it. It's really good.
You can't play the music to get it.
Nah. Well, I've covered musical series before. Like Kono Otamare is a music series, and that is a masterpiece. If you want to see like beautiful art and beautiful storytelling, go read Kono Otamare. It's fantastic. And that's a music series, as I said.
Ms. Nerdigans, if we want to hear more of your recommendations, where do we find you?
You can find me on Nerdigans Inc. on YouTube, where I cover anime and manga every day. On Patreon, patreon.com/packergirl is where I'm doing all my anime content specifically, because I do not want to get attacked by community strikes or copyright strikes. I've had to fight like 5 false copyright strikes this year. I feel vindicated knowing that they were false copyright strikes because Toho filed a community strike against me last week. Wow. On Patreon, we're covering Gachi Kuda, we're covering Witch Watch, which was on break this week. We're covering Togenanki, and we're covering Dan to Dan season 2 and My Dress Up Darling season 2. Yeah, a couple of cuckoos. I just can't. I can't sit through that no more. Like I'm tired of watching this series bastardized. It really frustrates me. I know it's a bad series. It's a guilty pleasure series, but I can't. That anime is bastardizing the hell out of that manga, and that's not cool, and I can't watch it no more. On Twitter, you can find me right here, where we're posting a lot of stuff. We're covering just about everything, and now it's going to be football added to the mix too. From anime and manga news to anti-censorship stuff. We post botched localizations. A lot of the stuff that we write about on Bounding, we post on Twitter first to get an idea of if we should kind of propose the story to Spencer or not. So yeah, there is that. So yeah, follow me on Twitter to get a sneak peek at what we might be covering for Bounding as well before even Spencer finds out. But yeah, in terms of Bounding, as I said, got the Jujutsu Kaisen article that's done. I'm waiting to hear back from Spencer if we're going to write about the whole thing with the One Punch Man season 3 director, because he's been going off revealing a lot of stuff on Twitter, and as well as the Assassination Classroom announcement. I sent it to Spencer. It's just up to him to give us the green light. And we're also working on God, it's a massive undertaking. A Couple of Cuckoos season 2 dub article, because that dub is next level botched. If you remember how botched what was it? Lovely Complex and Dragon Maid are. Yeah, it is really, really botched. It is bad. It is beyond cheese bad. I'm telling you, like some of the old Funimation localizers are at Crunchyroll causing shenanigans. It is insane. But yeah, we'll definitely be here next week. Waiting on Spencer to see like if we're gonna even do it. I'd like to do a South Park stream because South Park is good. And they're releasing episodes like every couple of weeks, so every other week, because there's just too much stuff going on in the media. And there's been a lot of controversy from the Trump supporters too for South Park. Still need to do a King of the Hill stream with Spencer, but he's just been too swamped.
Yeah, it's there's a lot happening in the world right now, but I don't necessarily think there's any rush. There'll be plenty of time to talk about it, plenty of time to box it all up even. So.
Or take the box, or as Yadaka does in Shinobi Go, take the box and then set it aside for later.
Right. There you go. Fill it up with stuff. But speaking of filling up with stuff, guys, make sure that you hit like, subscribe, share the stream out, and tune in for the next content. You'll be seeing more of the Power Rangers content around here because that's what gets clicks. So if you guys want to see different content, you should click on it.
After 10,000 years, I'm free!
Just in time for lunch.